Performance starts with each individual person and what they want to accomplish with their vehicle. I spend a lot of time working on my vehicles. It's my peace and quiet. I started using K&N parts when I got my first car, and they've always worked really well for me. Obviously, performance parts should increase your horsepower, but you don't want to lose your reliability either. So performance has to be all the way around.
The first time you try Pedal Commander, you'll feel oh yeah.
Welcome to round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We call this the Crossroads. Matt Field, the guy to beat, but right behind him, Aasbo with Chris Forsberg, and then Ryan Tuerck sits in 4th.
It's go time. Let's do this.
These cars these days, they're so insane to drive.
Oh!
It's really difficult. You're kind of on the knife edge all the time.
Man, what a crazy event.
We got 20 seconds to shine. We can't make any mistakes. If you do, you're out.
Oh! We got contact! Oh boy!
Priority right now is keeping everything together.
At Royal Purple, we develop synthetic lubricants that outperform on reliability, performance, efficiency, and sustainability. From the racetrack to the cul-de-sac, from on the clock to the ship dock. For the highest performance now and protection for the future. No matter what drives you, Royal Purple.
Formula Drift is brought to you by BC Racing, the official suspension of Formula Drift. Go for gold. Royal Purple, the official engine oil of Formula Drift, the synthetic expert. Rockstar, the official energy drink of Formula Drift. The final round of Formula Drift begins with the sun's out, guns out. Irwindale Speedway, more affectionately known as the House of Drift. Smiles among fans, tires are burnt, and of course, a champion will be crowned. Welcome to the House of Drift. The line outside, the parking situation. Guess what? We are sold out. That's right. You paid for the whole seat, but you're going to use the edge. This is the Type S title fight. Ding, ding, presented by AutoZone. Title fight because the culmination of now, here we are at the 8th round. 7 previous rounds, 7 different winners. Who's going to win here tonight at these hallowed grounds? 19 years comes to an end here tonight. And we are going to crown a 2022 Formula Drift champion. Scenario-wise, we'll paint the picture for you, but I am your host, Jared Deenda. By my side, my co-host and double duty, doing judging duties as well, Ryan Lontaine. Ryan, great to see you back here. I'm excited. You're excited. What's the kind of emotions? What are you feeling? What are you hearing among the pits and amongst the drivers?
Well, if practice yesterday is any indication, nobody's going to hold anything back. We talked to Matt Field a bit yesterday, and he said, I think I made some enemies yesterday in practice. Just
how's that?
Banging off all kinds of doors and smashing into other cars. I think there's going to be a lot of action, a lot of maybe some rubbing, maybe some slight collisions. People are just not going to hold back. This is the last round. If you do any damage to your car, you have until April of next year to fix it. So everything's on the line right now. This is a big event.
Yeah, leave it all on the track, right? Like you said. So as you know, we're here at the House of Drift. This is the most storied track right next to Atlanta because, you know, Road Atlanta was the birthplace. 2004, Formula Drift, we kicked things off. We ended it here. So just as many rounds we've had at Atlanta, we had here at the House of Drift, Irwindale, California. You talk about Matt Field. What's at stake here? We're talking about points. We're talking about championship. Matt Field has not won an event. Frederick Aasbo, he has. He currently sits in second, but qualifying played a major role. So taking a look at the standings overall, that gentleman right there, Matt Field, he might have gained some enemies yesterday. Frederick Aasbo, he is only 11 points behind. They were coming into this round being 14 points separated, but now only 11 points. Frederick Aasbo behind Matt Field. What are your thoughts as far as, you know, Matt Field, where his head's at, going for his first championship? Frederick Aasbo back-to-back, and also joining the 3-time championship club.
Well, I think Matt Field knows he needs to do well this round. I don't know the math, who needs to finish where to do what, but I'm pretty sure Field's got to go pretty far in this event, and he has to hope that Aasbo doesn't do well so that he doesn't get points that could be up close to him. So they all know they have to, it comes down to the wire here, It comes down to this round. So nobody's going to hold anything back. Nobody is going to try to baby the machinery here. It's going to be everything on the line to try to win this round of competition.
Well, we just saw Frederick Aasbo, so like I said, he gains 3 points. There's only 3 points maximum available. That gentleman right there, that was Brandon Sorensen. He got 1 point. He qualified third, qualifying second, Wataru Masuyama. He gets 2 points. Not in contention, Masuyama and Sorensen, but let's talk about just winning this event. This is an iconic place to win an event. I remember when Matt Field won here for the first time. He was driving an S chassis. Now here he is in just another WMD, weapon of mass destruction. Him qualifying fourth means that he gets 0 points. There are the points at stake overall, and you can see, well, guess what? First to second, 100 to 91. That's obviously 9 points. Well, 11 separates them. Keep in mind, the scenario as far as the championship goes, the soonest and the when will dictate if they advance on that our championship contenders will meet is in the final 4. So that would mean one would advance, at least get minimum second. You could see 91 to 80 point separation there. What's going to happen? Again, 11 points separate them. So Field versus Aasbo, battle for third is also really big. Walk us through what you see as far as third place, because you're looking at Chelsea, Chris Forsberg, Ryan Tuerck. That's 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, we saw yesterday Chris Forsberg missing his first run, or attempting his first run of qualifying, but having a mechanical issue. So the other thing we have to talk about is mechanical issues.
Yeah.
Despite how well a driver feels he's doing, if his car won't work, then he's not going to go too far.
Yeah. 7 events, 7 different winners. 8 rounds, 8 different winners. Also keep in mind, it has been done before. Matt Field has not won an event. He's going for his first championship. He's Freddie won in Atlanta. Again, the hallowed grounds that is Road Atlanta. My favorite track. I've said it. I'll go on record again. I love the spirit of it. It's just an awesome thing. Forsberg won the championship. That was a great segue there. Matt Field, could he win an event? Can he win the championship without winning an actual round? Forsberg has done it, and he's in that 3-time club.
Yeah, and we talk about what if one of the first or second position currently in the championship, what if they win, what if they come second, what if they come third, but what if all those guys get knocked out of competition here early on, and then we've got a brand new contender coming up, and the points, the math, I don't know what that is.
We can't get in the weeds right now.
No, I know.
I'm
just thinking, like, we've had 7 different winners so far in the championship coming up to this round. We could have an 8th different winner, somebody that's unexpected or somebody that hasn't won yet. So I don't know, it's been one of those seasons where the unexpected seems to happen in every round.
And again, there we're looking at Matt Field. We saw him yesterday. As soon as he finished running, he was jumping on his phone, seeing other people's runs. This is where all the equity of what you've done here at this track comes into play. You have to think the longest comers to this track, that is Ken Gucci, Chris Forsberg. Frederick Aasbo, he wrapped up the championship last year. He's got the star on his back. Can he go back-to-back? He currently sits in second. Right there in third, Chelsea Denofa. Is he finding that sweet spot? We know how aggressive he can get. He's won here before. He's got a win under his belt in Seattle. We saw him really throw down. Chris Forsberg debuting a all-new Nissan Z. Of course, NOS energy drink on the door, GT radials on the corner. Chris Forsberg wants to get that third place spot. Right behind him, only 2 points separate these gentlemen. So 10 points between third, fourth, and fifth. So pretty crazy, between, again, Chelsea, Forsberg, and that of Ryan Tuerck. There's how it lays out. Again, 11 points between Field and Aasbo, and you can see 10 points between Denofa, Forsberg, and Tuerck. So, we talk about the math and all that. We do have our president Ryan Sage, who's kind of plugging us in, educating us on what's going on. Let's get to know this track a little bit more. If you're not familiar, for your first time or your 19th time, it's always changing, always evolving. Here's our Tuerck Drift course preview. We're riding with Rad Dan Burkett, who is intended to go against Frederick Aasbo. We'll see if we can get his car back together. Walk us through, Ryan.
Yeah, so this is outside zone 1 here. Drivers need to get their bumper on the wall. We don't want them to use that wall as a barrier to keep them on the track. They should just be grazing the bumper along the edge of that wall. Here they transition. They want to be mid-track here as they transition for inside clip 1. We want them to completely go by that inside clip before they transition the car. We had a couple of issues with that in qualifying yesterday. And then right here, they need to use their momentum, get themselves out to the wall at outside zone number 2. This is where Justin Pollock went into the wall yesterday very dramatically. So this is, and over the years, we've seen crashes here over and over again. It's a very difficult part of the track to get right. And then you come into inside clip number 2, get tight on that clip, and then out to the wall on driver's right, where outside zone 3 is situated right at the finish line. So you want to kind of finish with that exclamation point right there on outside zone 3.
And we actually have fireworks there, so don't be scared. There's no fire at the end of it via the vehicles. This is what we're looking at, and the red zones there, that might play a role into what's going down. And what is that telling you as the judges, and how did you get that data?
So this is the momentum map. We used some data achieved or taken off the cars after practice yesterday to figure out where everybody's decelling, and those little red areas are going to give you an idea of where that is. Very small, not everybody's decelling at initiation, but some people are. That's not an aggressive decel area. It's just a very small area to sort of maybe get the car at angle, maybe a slight handbrake, but right back on throttle. So we're not looking for a big decel there, but at the top left there, you see that bigger red section just after inside clip 1, before outside zone 2. That's a big decel area. People are coming in at about 80 miles per hour there, and they need to slow down to get through outside zone 2. So that is a severe decel area, and we're going to be expecting drivers to slow down pretty aggressively there.
All right, taking a look at all the rubber laid here, just for those that aren't in the building. It did rain last night and early this morning. Saw some moisture. Talking to the drivers, I saw Adam LZ at breakfast this morning. He says, the marbles, you're like 16 inches from the wall, the marbles are rough. You're 20 inches away from the wall. He says, unobtainium grip. I like that statement. But here are Permatex keys to victory. What are we looking for, and what are you looking for from the judges? Ryan?
That lead car needs to be deep in both outside zone 1, 2, and then, of course, outside zone 3, they got to get close to that wall. They want to leave the outside zones where they end. Don't overshoot the zones, because that's going to put you on an awkward line. You want to get tight to the inside clips and decelerate after the transition past inside clip 1. So you go past inside clip 1 with your front bumper, transition the car, then slow down for outside zone 2, not before that. The chase car, pretty simple. Stay close to the lead car, mimic what the lead car's doing out there on the track, and position yourself in the pocket. That means sort of like the rear 3/4 of that lead car. The chase car should be right in that area. We don't want the cars nose to nose. We don't want the chase car in front of the lead car. The chase car has got to be back, sort of hovering around the rear wheel of the lead car, right in that pocket right there. That's the perfect placement for the chase car.
So as we can see, our drivers getting prepped. Look at the hand-eye coordination. Speaking of hand-eye coordination, let's throw it down to Lorette Nichols. Got the ACT track report. Again, brought to you by ACT Clutch. Lorette?
Jared, thank you very much. Standing here with Frederick Aasbo. Right now we're looking around, and it's a gray day. We have overcast skies, but that's nice for drifting. But if we look forward, and I know you're not a weatherman, but if we get a little bit of precipitation, what is that going to do to this track?
Oh my God, that's going to make it almost no man's land. I don't think I've ever driven this course in the wet before, and it's so rare to have rain come down here for this final round at Irvingdale. So we got a little taste of it this morning. The inner bank in the last corner was wet, and it makes for very challenging conditions. So I think this is going to be one of those where you just got to go by your gut instinct and go for it.
Okay, so watching all of the weather apps, potentially the top 32 can be the wettest. So how does that change your plans going into top 32?
It doesn't really change it by much. We've tried to set the car up with a lot of margin, so we can go either way. I can drop a gear. We can make tire pressure changes. So we're trying to have a car that's all round well set up for any conditions that get thrown at us. But we'll see if that plays out.
Okay, perfect. Frederick, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck today, guys.
Thank you so much, Lorette, and getting our ACT track report brought to you by ACT Clutch. Be sure to check out ACT's all-new Mod Twin Clutch at advancedclutch.com. So Lorette Nichols getting all the insight down there. You can just feel the energy. It's all about perspective. Here we are up in the booth, Ryan. You're judging, you're announcing, giving some great commentary and some insight on what you, Brian Egger, and Chris Yule are looking for. So look at this. So different hand-eye coordination. All those skills, I think, I talked about it, it bears repeating. Game of inches, not just where the bumper is to the wall, but I think, honestly, the inches in between your ears is what's more important. Where your headspace is at, what's going on. Matt says he's made some enemies. Does that affect him? Frederick Aasbo, he has nothing to lose, to be honest. He's defending champion.
Yep.
He knows this track. He knows he can get it done here. Matt, he's going for it the first time. Here we are taking a look. What are some standout battles for you? And maybe walk us through some of the scenarios.
Well, the scenarios I think you know a little bit better in terms of the points and the layout and what happens when certain people meet in certain areas of the bracket here. But Ryan Tuerck, Jonathan Hurst, Jeff Jones, Mike Power. We've got a lot of great battles here. I think the fact that we've got the top two drivers in the championship currently on the left side of the bracket, I think that's kind of the biggest story right now.
Yeah, it's very telling of what's going to happen. We're getting the track prepped here. You could see our pedal commander burnout box and how much rubber has actually been laid. So Ryan Lontaine sitting next to me, like I say, doing double duty. Not only just co-host, but judging alongside the other two judges. And we're up here in the booth, so thank you for joining us. And our other judges getting into position here. That is Chris Yule and Brian Eggert. So again, Ryan, Chris, and Brian, our three judges scrutinizing. And we know the format here, 2 cars on the line, 1 car leads, 1 car chases. They run through the course adhering to the judging criteria that was put into ruling yesterday. Now it's all about driver A or driver B. So lead car goes through the course, chase car tries to minimize that lead car's line. We talked about those keys to success. Then the chase car becomes the lead car. They navigate through the course. The 3 judges, majority rules, driver A or driver B, or one more time. All right, are you ready to get this party started? Here we go. This is our final round. Make some noise, Irwindale. A champion will be crowned tonight. We'll get into the scenarios, but you can't win the championship. You can't win the round as we kick things off with our Rockstar Energy Drink. Top 32, speaking of Rockstar Energy Drink, Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Aasbo, 2-time and defending Formula Drift champion, going against the Mark IV Toyota Supra, Dan Burkett. Frederick Aasbo setting the pace, a 91 in qualifying, #1 qualifier, gets 3 points and gains 3 points and closes that gap even closer between our points leader, Matt Field, and Frederick Aasbo. Again, notably, Matt Field without a victory this season. Frederick Aasbo, a lot of confidence in his corner. Like I said, nothing to lose. Defending champion. He won in Atlanta. He won the championship here last year and a few years ago. But again, the Rockstar Toyota GR Supra, operated by Papadakis Racing, multiple championships, previously with Tanner Faust, and now here a couple with Frederick Aasbo. Will he make that? 3-time joining the club and the likes of Chris the Force Forsberg and James the Machine Dean. So you got the machine, you got the hammer, you got the force. Which one are you choosing?
Whichever one does better on the track, but that individual battle.
but we deemed your nickname yesterday, Ryan the Laser Lantain.
The Laser, yeah, right.
Yeah, just fixated, your eyes on the prize. I mean, don't look at me. I can't even look at you like Fergie and Baby Jesus. Here's our championship history, you can see. And saw Reese Millen yesterday.
Yeah.
Saw Christophe Blouche in the building. Mark Landerville from Canada. It's so great that basically, boom, the world's open.
Yeah, everybody's coming back.
Let's go.
It's exciting.
Let's go. It's super exciting. So, yeah, Christophe Blouche, the Latvian lover. Mark Landerville, your fellow Canadian.
Yeah.
It's really great and super excited. So here's our first battle. You know, hey, guess what? Crazy things happen. You know, our eyes are watching Aasbo in the championship, but here's Dan Burkett. So this does have championship implications. Keep in mind, if Frederick Aasbo goes out here, basically it's Matt Field, so you always can't count people out. Dan Burkett barely gets in with that 32. Oh, he goes on the wrong side of that inside clip. He goes in the side, and Dan Burkett goes in hard. Frederick Aasbo does need to continue with his line, but Dan Burkett a little loose in that chase position. A lot loose, excuse me. So he did keep it together. Frederick Aasbo did what he needed to do, but from the jump, Dan Burkett, a little struggle there. We got some, what are we looking at there, Ryan?
The left rear wheel, maybe where Dan hit him. It looks like potentially bent. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens here. But I think it looked, Dan hit the wall in practice, right? And then got the car together, came out here in top 32. You have to wonder if the car was fully ready to go, you know. It looked like he was struggling a little bit there on outside zone 1, getting to inside clip 1, where he was on the wrong side of that inside clip. So maybe the car wasn't performing the way he needed it to.
I'm just to stop you there, because I am getting messages from a spotter, which is his wife, Renee. She is saying this is their first lap out after some damage. So the car's setup is completely different from practice. So 100%. That's exactly what happened to Dan Burkett. So Frederick Aasbo went through the course. Look at that. I mean, the wrong side.
Yeah, transition a little too early there and came in on Aasbo's side there a little too fast into outside zone 2. Sort of used Aasbo as a bumper there, but bounced off of him and ended up in the wall. So going to be some damage to Dan's car and potentially to Aasbo's car as well. So we will have to ascertain fault here for that collision, so that one driver will have to call a competition timeout to fix their car. The other one will be given adequate time, let's say, to repair their car if needed.
Yeah, unfortunate for Rad Dan. You know, he barely got in. He had to go into the not so great 8, the lower 8 knockout qualifying yesterday. He barely makes it in. But going against, again, a #1 qualifier. I love the Mark V versus the Mark IV Supra. It's kind of poetic, given that Frederick Aasbo comes into Formula Drift competition. First time we saw him a few years ago, the World Championship. He drives a vehicle deemed Chucky, which is a Mark IV Supra. So just an all-Supra battle, but Frederick Aasbo shows you composure, shows you why he is a champion and defending champion and a contender of a championship. That Rockstar Energy Toyota Supra, the GR Supra, is definitely, he's pulling his weight.
So you can see there in the left rear right there, they're going to see that does look like something's a little bit wrong there. It's not supposed to look like that? Yeah. So they're going to have a look at what they need to repair. I'm sure they've got all the parts on hand to fix something like that.
Look at Dan's coming over.
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's saying, hey, I'm so sorry. You could see it was a casual conversation. He knows what's going on there. So let's take a look at it again. So on initiation, like I said, I kind of had to jump to that point where it's like, hey man, guess what? Rad Dan could take out Aasbo, and that would just boom, Matt Field champ.
Yep, that's right. So right here you can see where Dan comes in a little bit too hot in outside zone number 2. That is a tricky area to judge coming in there speed-wise, and also, like you said, from Renee, his spotter and wife, that the car's setup is not similar to what they have had in the car during practice and qualifying. So it's something that he's having to adapt to basically in this run, which isn't always the easiest thing to do, and just overcooked it a little bit going outside zone 2. Luckily, both drivers are safe. The cars look like they should be able to be fixed within the time allotted, and they'll get back out for the second run of this battle.
All right, so we are overlooking, you can see Rad Dan right next to Frederick Aasbo, and I don't know is Burkett going to fix his car? Is he going to call a comp timeout? We'll get to the bottom of that in a little bit, but we'll advance on with Jonathan Castro and Kyle Mohan. Jonathan Castro qualifying yesterday 16th, Kyle Mohan qualifying 17th. Fairly equally matched battle here. Kyle Mohan's been really hitting his strides. He's been having some engine issues, but you know, the rotary always fires up, and he's ready to get back out there. Jonathan Castro looked really good yesterday. I like the smoothness of his driving. You know, he debuted this new car at round 1, and he just came out swinging. So some great driving. Let's see again, Jonathan Castro and Kyle Mohan. All right, so here we go. Castro, Jordo Metal-Dam, Toyota GR86 versus Kyle the Menace Mohan. Kyle Mohan from Long Beach, California. Castro from the Dominican Republic. Here's the first run of this Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. Castro leads. Mohan give a chase. A couple cars need to close that gap there for Mohan. Castro sticking it to the wall. Mohan looks like he massaged it a little bit higher. But that's what I was talking about. That composure that Castro GR86 has is really nice. Just the fluidity. It's really complimenting the track. You can see how wide he gets on that second outside zone. Now tightening up to that second inside clip and see how they handle that last one. Ooh, looks like Castro got a little nervous, kind of puckered up, sucked up that back bumper, ensuring that he didn't hit that last outside zone. All right, so let's take a look here at our replay, our United States Air Force instant replay.
Yeah, let's take a look at where Castro's positioning his car and how well Mohan is mimicking what Castro is doing. So Castro is pretty high in outside zone 1. Mohan starts off a little bit lower, but works his way up. May have had a little wall tap there midway through outside zone 1. He's not super close, but he's mimicking the line more or less that Castro's laying down. He's just doing it from a few car lengths behind. We'd like to see more proximity there from Mohan. And you can see right at the finish line there, Castro gets out wide to outside zone 3. And then it looks like you said, like he was not really at the maximum amount of angle we've seen some drivers achieve through outside zone number 3. But overall, doing a good job in the lead position. Castro looks really settled. His car's not moving around a lot. Once he gets the angle, he's set. He's in the zone. He's not working the wheel a lot. The car looks really settled, and he looks confident. I'd like to see more angle at outside zone 3, but the big story here is really Kyle Mohan not achieving that level of mimicry in terms of proximity and line. He's doing the line, but a little bit further back. We'd like to see that, but closer.
Yeah, just a little more refined, getting that, like you said, that proximity. All right, so Kyle Mohan looks like taking a look. Something might have been on track. So either fluids or some parts. We'll clear it up. Aasbo and his team, you can see it right there. All hands on deck. Now, Ryan, you said that fault needed to be deemed, and that was obviously Dan Burkett, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, the fault was assessed on Dan Burkett.
All right, look at this. Lorette getting all the, can you feel the energy right now? Do you feel the tension, Lorette? Down to you.
Jared, right now, down here in the pits, the energy is vibrating. It is just absolutely buzzing down here, and you can see the live shot, Frederick Aasbo and his team working on the car. The tow arm is bent in the back, and since every car is different, they should be able to fix this in the 10 minutes allotted. But if there's subframe damage, that could extend the time, and he would have to call the 5 minutes. Jared?
Thank you so much. So we are getting word that Dan Burkett is not going to repair his car. They are done. But thank you so much, Lorette, and I appreciate the insight. So now what just needs to happen is Aasbo needs to show that the car runs, and that would be not a buy run, just a completion to show that the car is capable. What's good for him is he does have a halftime break in between 32 and 16, so ample time as, 16 kicks back off here, this evening at 7 o'clock. That's when we'll be back out here for the continuation of top 16. Ample time, just get it out there on the track because basically Dan Burkett has parked it.
Right, he doesn't have to run a 100-point run. He just needs to get out there and prove that it'll leave the line, and that's enough.
All right, so Jonathan Castro, Kyle Mohan, going to alternate order. Kyle Mohan, Renewable Lubricants, Mazda Tricks, Mazda RX-8, Kyle Mohan Racing, and of course, the Dominican Republic driver, Jonathan Castro. Jordo Metal-Dam with that straight line approach and that Toyota GR86. Now, you can see, now it looks like Mohan is answering exactly what you did, but Castro, he's down. He needs to get up there. He needs to get that distance and needs to close that gap. So it's almost like they're alternating positions, not just lead and change. Ooh, Mohan got the attitude of the vehicle. A little switched up there. He's throwing it down out front, Mohan's doing exactly what you guys are requesting. I mean, he was high on the bank. Castro, you know, it seemed like he had the power on that first run, but just not part of the equation.
Yeah, he's definitely not putting the car where he needs to in the chase position. He's low in outside zone 1. He doesn't really have the proximity until very late in the run that we were looking for either. In the lead, Mohan's putting his car in all the right spaces. Just had that little bobble as he hit the wall in outside zone number 2. But let's watch the replay here and have a look at it again. Look at where Castro's car is. He's down below those white painted lines we have in outside zone 1. Kyle's up there in outside zone 1, right where he should be. Kyle transitions nicely for inside clip 1, misses it right on that first hash mark, and then Castro here, again, a little bit inside until about halfway through outside zone 2. Kyle's doing a great job in the lead position, putting his car where it needs to be. In the chase, Castro really just needed to put together a clean chase run with a bit of proximity thrown in for good measure, and he would have had an advantage there, but it looks like Castro really is not achieving the level of angle or line mimicry that he needs while also not having the proximity. So if you looked at what Kyle was doing in his chase, he was on pretty much the same line as Castro was, just a little bit further behind. So Kyle Mohan may have an advantage there in the chase-to-chase comparison.
All right, so we can see Aasbo, the wheel is on. That is a good sign for him and his team, the Motegi Racing wheels, the Nitto tires. Yeah, it looks like they're just visually aligning it. They're not. Just lead the line, get it out there, and he will get the victory here. So let's go to the judges in regards to Castro and Mohan. Slide him left for Castro, right for Kyle Mohan. Mohan gets the win, 2-1. Mohan gets the win, and you know, all signs are saying that Castro, going off his first run, could have had a solid chase run, but he left too much window opportunity. And dude, Mohan stepped up.
Yeah, he really did.
That was fantastic for Kyle Mohan. And I saw his dad earlier, who was a spotter, who said, "Hey, awesome, thanks for the accolades. We're finding the right pace. The car's driving good. It's got good grip." So super excited. All right, so Lorette Nichols says the car's running. He's ready to send it. So. And in regards to Frederick Aasbo, needs to leave the line, doesn't need to throw, like you said, Ryan, not a 100-point line or 100-point run, but just get it out there. All right, so let's get on to this next battle. This is Odie Bakchis and Ryan Litteral. Both S15s, two very different builds. You got the supercharged LS of Odie Bakchis, Falcon tires, field suspension, pedal commander chassis, and then you got the Power Stop GT radial. Ryan Litteral with the RB under the hood. And here we go with Odie Bakchis, and just taking the Gafflebees right now. Here is an appetizer for you there, Ryan. We need to get up in there, bud. As Odie Bakchis. Second place, his highest finish in previous years, and now in that second outside zone. This is all Bakchis show, unfortunately, for Ryan Litteral. But now it looks like he's hitting that pace.
So that was a good run from Odie.
Yeah, that was great. Just
placed
just
his car very, very nicely. It looks like right there, Litteral was spinning his tires right off the start line. I don't know if that was a missed launch. You know, like he wasn't paying attention, or he just missed his opportunity to launch off the line, because not only was he spinning his tires, but he was far back to begin with. So may have just been an error on Ryan Litteral's part. You can see that he's getting some perturbations there in angle. He's not really staying at angle the way we want him to in the chase, but that is not really the biggest concern here. It's just the distance between the lead car and the chase car. You know, Odie was running what he was supposed to do in the lead, so he was not trying to get away in the lead position, and then the chase position, Litteral had no proximity at all, basically. There wasn't really a tandem battle.
All right, so let's see the second half of this battle. Ryan Litteral, Odie Bakchis. So Litteral out front, and you know, that was all Odie. Let's see what kind of pressure Odie's going to give. He knows he had an advantage. We're looking for an active chase. We're not looking for them to kick back, but you know, I wouldn't say that Litteral was an inactive chase. Just didn't have it right there, like you said, just something right off the start. Here we go. So Ryan Litteral, Odie Bakchis. gonna solidify this dominance here. Ryan Litteral, good angle right now. It looks like he's putting it down for his town. Good job pass. Boom, both of them. Actually, Odie a little bit off of that inside clip. But now in that second outside zone, you're seeing the proximity, you're seeing the mimicking with the angle just right there in that pocket, tucking in with that GT radial smoke. But of course, the Falcon tires go round, and it looks like, speaking of going round, Odie Bakchis will go to the next round. Just not enough Ryan Litteral, and unfortunately, on that first battle, just wasn't in the chat room.
While Litteral was in outside zone 1, you could see he tapped the wall a couple of times, which affected the angle on the car. Let's watch the replay and see it from this high-speed drone here as they get initiated to outside zone 1. You can see that Odie is definitely faster in the chase position, and he's doing his best. Right there in the lead, you can see is where Litteral hit the wall, straightened the car up a little bit. And right here, like you said, Odie is off about inside clip 1. I think that's due to the fact that he's trying to stay behind Litteral. I think Odie's car is faster here, and he's having to do what he can to sort of float the car in the back and not get too close to Ryan, not make contact with Ryan, while Ryan's a little bit slower ahead of him.
All right, the Rockstar. All right, here we go. Let's make it official. Odie Bakchis gets the win. Odie Bakchis gets the win. There we are in the cockpit of Frederick Aasbo, the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. So again, just need to show that the car is running. You know, we're not looking for the 100-point run. And admittedly, in you know, in the past, some drivers are even spun, but they still advance on. It's just showing that the car is capable.
Yeah, exactly. That the car is not broken, that it's physically capable of leaving the line and physically drifting.
Well, we are also getting another update that in 2 battles, we are intended to see Matt Field and João Berrion. We are getting word that the Brazilian driver piloting the other Corvette, João Berrion, has broken. What that means, Matt Field, who is our current points leader, and again, in contention for the championship against Frederick Aasbo, will advance on with a bye run. That is, I would consider that a little bit of a gift, a little bit of thank you. And again, not for lack of effort, and that's not the way you want to win, but at this point, you'll take it any way you can get it. And you know, Matt has had some very difficult breaks this season, notably round 1, remember?
Yeah.
Him and that gentleman, Aasbo, got into it, crashed the car, not a corner, was straight on that thing, slapped it back together, and was at round 2. But Frederick Aasbo looks like he'll advance to 16, and so will Matt Field in a couple rounds.
It's interesting how these events play out. Little things like that can happen in the ladder, and it just comes down to the luck of the draw, where you ended up positioning yourself and qualifying with the score that you achieved. And then something like this happens to essentially both drivers. Aasbo had to fight at least 1 run, got into that little tussle with Den Burkett, is now automatically moving forward to 16. Field just happens to be lined up against Berrion, who ends up with a break, and now Field advances on. So it's, yeah, only 11 points separating the 2 of these drivers right now. So they're going to 16. Again, if they win 16 and top 8, they will basically meet up in top 4, but a lot has to happen between now and then. Aasbo is going to be battling Mohan. Field will either be going up against LZ or Noback, depending on who wins that battle in top 32. That'll take that winner to top 16 to match up with Field. So we do have some interesting battles to come here that will line things up, and who knows how this is going to play out, but it's always fascinating how these things play out.
And you say how it plays out, and people are like, oh, Formula Drift's scripted. I was like saying that, and I'm like, you're crazy. There's no way that can work out.
Who says that, Jared?
but given these scenarios, I always think that's comical because it does look like that, the way things are painted. But you know what I'm happy about? Aasbo advances, Field advances. A champion isn't crowned in 32.
In 32, yeah.
In 32. It may be crowned in 16, it may be crowned in 8, or if both these guys meet, let's lay out and listen to our defending champion, Frederick the Norwegian Hammer Aasbo. I encourage you to watch the series called Controlled Chaos, featuring that gentleman, your 2-time and defending, potentially going for a 3-time champion. And his toe arm, we are hearing that is still bent. So now the work begins. He'll be back for 16, and he goes against Kyle Mohan. Kyle Mohan entering the top 16, which is great for him and his team, but he's going against, like I said, two-time defending, potentially joining that three-time championship club. The alma mater there is that of Forsberg and James the Machine Dean, but we are finding out that Matt Field will advance on. So, but not only are we going for the championship, but we're going for the winner. All right, so again, all right, if you haven't seen, here's a little sneak peek of Controlled Chaos featuring the Rockstar Energy Drink drivers. Welcome to round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We call this the Crossroads. Matt Field, the guy to beat, but right behind him, Frederick Aasbo with Chris Forsberg, and then Ryan Tuerck sits in 4th.
It's go time. Let's do this.
These cars these days, they're so insane to drive. Oh! It's really difficult. You're kind of on the knife edge all the time.
Man, what a crazy event.
We got 20 seconds to shine. We can't make any mistakes. If you do, you're out.
Oh, we got contact. Oh boy.
Priority right now is keeping everything together.
Here's how the bracket is shaping up. You can see those that are boxed out in yellow, they're advancing on. Frederick Aasbo, Kyle Mohan, Odie Bakchis. Next battle, you see both those drivers, they are both boxed out because they are next battle. Dylan the Dozer Hughes, if you have not picked up your official Royal Purple engine oil crown. Ryan, here, let's throw that on you. You look so good. Are you, if we could just show how good, I mean, he's obviously a Dozer fan, but Ola Jaeger, he's a competitor. You got to see how great Ryan looks with his crown on. I mean,
let me see.
You look fantastic. These are limited edition Royal Purple, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. So, all right, we'll see who comes out on top. The Ola Jaeger and Dylan Hughes battle. Dylan the Dozer Hughes, winner in Orlando. Ola Jaeger, the Japan Auto Mark IV Toyota Supra. Dylan Hughes, he's got the 2J, so he's got the heart of the Supra underneath the hood of his Royal Purple BMW. Coming to that second outside zone. He is dialed. Ooh, Ola Jaeger having some struggles in that chase position. See, he's fighting the car. Now Dylan Hughes wraps around that second inside and bingo, puts it in the can. Well done there for Dylan the Dozer Hughes. Ola Jaeger having some difficulties in that chase position.
That looked like an incomplete from Ola Jaeger in the chase position through outside zone 2 there. I don't know if that was a misshift because it looked like he did get the car back to angle after he did that straightening. So let's look at outside zone 1. Dylan's nice and high in the zone, decent angle there. Ola, a little bit less angle, but okay proximity. He's there. He's not as close as we'd like to see, but he's mimicking more or less what, and then right there's the problem. Dylan in the lead position is doing a great job zone 2. But in the chase position, Ola completely straight. That'll be an incomplete from him. He does drift through the finish line with low angle, but that incomplete in outside zone 2 is the thing that'll haunt him the most here in this run. He's going to have to really lay down an amazing lead and hope that Dylan also incompletes in the chase to give him any kind of hope now. Dylan in the chase just needs to maintain, gain some proximity on Ola, maintain it throughout the course, and not make any major mistakes that would be considered an incomplete. And he should be able to move on here without that any mistake from him.
All right, so let's see how this unfolds. Ola Jaeger, Japan Auto. Ooh, and Dylan, you talk about doing these right things, and it seems like got a little nervous there on initiation. That might have been caused by Jaeger in the lead position. A quick little transition there by Dylan Hughes. He's not exactly as tight and right as we'd like to see. I don't think this dictates. Oh, there goes Ola. That's just going to solidify it.
Yeah.
Yep. So, as not as concise as Dylan Hughes was, unfortunately, Jaeger seems like, car's got a little bit of a cough, not healthy 100%. So, unfortunately for Ola Jaeger, looks like he is knocked out. But Dylan Hughes, the Dozer, that Royal Purple, rocking that new livery, that deep purple, baby. He is looking strong. So looks like unofficially Dylan Hughes will get the victory. The Falcon tires, look at that. You can see those Forge Star wheels popping. Momo drip. Speaking of the drip, the Rain-X, the Permatex, and there it is. Let's make it official. Dylan the Dozer Hughes, winner in Orlando. The wacky, wildest, wettest round we've ever seen in Formula Drift history. He was the winner there in O-Town, and he is now advancing against Ola Jaeger. not only is the win up for grabs here at the House of Drift, but the championship is up for grabs. 11 points separate our current points leader, Matt Field. And guess what? That's going to continue because Matt Field was intended to go against that of João Berrion from Brazil. He's broken. He's out. This is a bye run for Matt Field. So, Frederick Aasbo advancing on, Matt Field advancing on. They both advance on to the top 16. They will potentially meet, if they advance on through 16 through 8, they will meet in Final Four. And if they meet in Final Four, the winner of that battle will be your 2022 Formula Drift champion. So keep that in mind. You're gonna wanna stay tuned. Again, we're, 32 is going on right now. We take a halftime break, see the fans, high fives, and again, 16 begins at 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock. All right, looks like all right, so we're getting Ola Jaeger off. So again, we're getting Ola Jaeger getting towed off. But guess what? Let's get a shotgun ride with Dylan the Dozer Hughes. The K&N Premium Experience winner rode with Dylan the Dozer Hughes. So let's take a look, riding shotgun with the Dozer.
We are so excited to be down here. K&N Filters behind us, and Daniela Usibi right next to me, a very special guest who won a K&N ride along with Dylan Hughes. But what's so amazing about this is that there's a lot of history between you and the car, and if you wouldn't mind mentioning that.
Well, the car was mine. It was mine first. I loved that car. I bought it in 2005. I had it for about 10 years. And then afterwards, Aaron met Dylan. And once he met Dylan, they were talking and stuff. And Aaron drove the car for a while, but then decided it was on its last leg. And Dylan decided that he wanted to buy it and turn it into a drift car. So that's what happened with my car, Mama's car. It was great. I loved it. But seeing it today was just amazing.
Yeah, and I was told that in order for Dylan to buy your car, you had to, at some point, get a ride along, and that was able to happen today.
I really didn't think it was ever going to happen, but he did say, Mom, we'll get you a ride along. I promise we'll get you a ride along. And I thought, okay, it hasn't happened in a while. And I thought, he just forgot about it. But then today they surprised me with it. I just thought I was coming to see him race, and next thing I know, they're just having me interview with everybody, and it was amazing. And Dylan said, you want to go for a ride? And I'm like, yes, let's do it. So it was great. It was a lot of fun.
And Daniela, you've been such a great sport about all of this. How was that ride?
A little terrifying, just a little bit. I was excited for it, but at the same time didn't quite know what to expect. I'm a little motion sickness to begin with, so the first part of the little donuts in the beginning was something that really kind of got to me a little bit, but once we were on the track, I was fine. It was just that first starting of it, but it was great. I'll never forget it.
Well, Daniela, again, thank you so very much. Our winner for the K&N Premium Experience, guys.
Thank you so much, Lorette. Some great experience there. So the car has gone on to greener pastures or smokier pastures. I don't know whichever analogy you want to use. But all right, here we go. Matt Field with his bye run, your current points leader, but only 11 points behind him. Frederick, the Norwegian hammer Aasbo. We'll find out what transpires again with top 16. Let's lay out and listen to our current points leader, Matt, the beast from the Bay Field. And there's Matt Field with his bye run. He advances on, and again, another call to action for Matt Field. And I know it's near and dear to Lorette Nickel and her heart, but Matt Field has put together a awesome prize pack. If you donate, basically, Matt Field has put together a prize pack of signed Momo gloves, a Falcon tire cruise shirt, a hat, a skateboard deck, and this is all going towards Hope Ranch Animal Sanctuary in Anza, California. As thousands of dogs, and you can see 2.7 million pets euthanized per year. So donate. The link is in Matt's bio, and you could win. Thank you to One Rack. They've stepped up. They'll match up to $1,000 as well. So please donate for a great cause, again, for the Hope Ranch Animal Sanctuary. And again, donate, you know, and adopt dogs. I know my family does, Matt and Lorette. We all have adopted dogs, so again, a great cause. All right, let's advance on. Adam LZ, where are my Adam LZ fans at? Make some noise, either online or in the building. He is going against Nick Noback. We got the fans here in the building cheering on their favorite drivers, the Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. Here is Adam LZ versus Nick Noback. Adam LZ, pilot in the AutoZone Ford Mustang RTR Spec 5. I know the boss is in the building. Two-time Formula Drift champion, Von Kent Jr. 2010, 2020. The maiden voyage for Adam LZ, and shout out to Coral Works in Atlanta. Tyler, hope you feel better soon, and we got your back. We see you. We're here to support you, bro. So Nick Noback's gonna try to throw it down for your town. That is ATL, the Coral Works GT Radial BMW. Nick Noback, this guy has a weapon from Las Vegas. Lost his roof last year, that was always exciting. But let's see how Adam LZ, he seems to have found that secret sauce to put it down. Let's see what we got here from Adam LZ. He initiates a big gap here between LZ and Noback, but seems to be closing it as LZ drops down a little bit. Now into, oh, big angle there from LZ. Look at the snappy transition, massive angle there from LZ. Nick Noback a little phased. Needs to get to the side of that Ford Mustang RTR. And now past that last outside zone. So some mistakes on either side. Let's analyze this, Ryan, if we could. Taking a look.
So as LZ comes up to initiation, you see a big gap being created here between him and Noback on the run up to initiation. LZ goes way wide up on outside zone 1. Noback lower line, lower angle, but uses that to gain proximity. And we always tell him, you're gonna do that, make it quick, and Noback did that. But then Noback makes a mistake here coming into outside zone 2, where you see LZ going wide into outside zone 2, going aggressively into that zone, made it look pretty solid. So Noback had a couple of issues in the chase position, most notably right here as he gets the car to angle. He misses he's below that hash mark we have there, which means that he's quite a bit lower off that wall than we'd like to see. Right there as the transition happens, this is where Noback goes quite a bit inside as well, making a compromise on line to try to maintain or gain proximity. You can see his angle varying there as well, whereas in the lead position, LZ looks solid. He looks like he got the car to angle, and it looked pretty settled through all the zones.
All right, some great insight there from the laser.
The laser.
You say that so like sub. The laser. Here we go. Here we go. The second run of the Noback LZ battle. Coral Works, BMW out front. Nick Noback, as LZ is trying to get to the back of the Nick Noback. Gets to the side. Dropping on into that big bank, the infamous Irwindale Speedway wall. Noback, big angle there, LZ. You see the proximity, a little shimming there. Let's see how they handle that second outside zone. Noback. Oh, LZ taps the wall, he stays in it. Those RTRs are known for shredding that back bumper, and Nick Noback rips it on through. Let's take a look at it here again. Your thoughts, Ryan, taking a look, and a great crowd here, even here in top 32. Awesome.
Yeah, it looked like Noback was much more comfortable in the lead position, getting his car where he wanted it to be on the track. And in the chase, you could see that LZ had more proximity. Let's watch the replay as they get to angle here in outside zone 1. Noback is not all the way up in outside zone 1, but he's looking a lot more comfortable in the lead role than he did in the chase. LZ there, nice proximity, car moving around a little bit, but we'd like to see closeness with a little bit of movement than far away. So right there you can see that Noback just taps the wall, and then LZ does a little double tap on the wall, maintains angle, does a pretty good job of keeping the car in the right position despite those wall taps, stayed on throttle, stayed in proximity. So chase to chase, you can see that LZ is doing a much better job of positioning his car, staying close to Noback, and mimicking what Noback's doing. In the lead position, Noback was not quite as high in outside zone 1, did a better job in zone 2, may have left it a little bit early there, but it's going to come down to all three of us here to make our decisions independently.
All right, the results waiting for that. Adam LZ, Nick Noback. And we are seeing Forsberg, who is intended to be up next with Travis Reeder, but he is not in his vehicle. An unfortunate turn of events. And we are looking at our BC Racing Go for Gold side by side. Adam LZ, Nick Noback, taking a look at this. Both of them had their flaws here on initiation. You see that. Nick Noback, you see him just jump, really jump up. Looks like he, what are your thoughts, Ryan?
Yeah, Noback had to make a huge compromise in the chase position there in outside zone 1 and into outside zone 2 as well. Whereas if you look at LZ in the chase, he was in proximity and he didn't make any compromises. He may have had a few bobbles in the chase, but he was real close and mimicking well what Noback was doing. Of course, Noback did do better when he got into the lead position, but he still wasn't up high on outside zone 1 and made a couple of errors elsewhere.
All right, the judges analyzing, scrutinizing. Who do you guys think won? Was it Adam LZ? What do you guys think? Was it Nick Noback? Did Nick Noback get the victory in the BMW? A little resounding Adam LZ there, but let's go to the judges. Slide them left for Adam LZ, right for Nick Noback. One more time, Adam LZ, and one more time. So, I think that's really indicative of just tighten it up. You know, I think that, you know, Ryan, I know you went with Adam LZ, the other two judges going one more time. So both these guys kind of could tighten it up. So let's go down to Laurent Nickel, who is with three-time champion Chris the Force Forsberg.
Hey, Jared. I am standing right next to Chris, and as you had mentioned, he should have been in his car. Unfortunately, he gave me the chop sign. Chris, I'm so sorry. What's happening with the car?
So yeah, our last practice run, it was just smoking really badly, and we're getting pressure in the cooling system, and when we checked the oil, it had water in it. The cooling system was down like almost a gallon, so it probably blew the head gasket, and it was just pumping water through it, and so we basically lost the motor, and there's like no way it's going to make the 2 laps, but it's going to grenade probably on the next pass. So yeah, we went through, we checked all the vitals, we looked through the logs, and nothing's looking good, so we're going to have to park it. And it's super unfortunate. It's like I've barely ever done this in my career. You know, normally we just like let it ride, but it's just it's inevitable that it's going to happen in the next like lap or two. So we're basically done, and we're going to have to bow out. We're not going to get a top 3 this year, but we are going to finish probably top 6, which is great because I mean we finished in the top 6 or better in all but 3 years of my career. So I'm kind of keeping that reign. So a little bit of a personal record, but yeah, it's a super bummer. We wanted to go out there and fight and get another silver cup, but you know, Travis will get a bye run, and we're going to go hang out and watch.
Chris, thank you so much. Always appreciate your honesty and candidness. Guys, back to you.
Lorette getting again, all the emotions from the joys to the unfortunate circumstances. So Chris the Force Forsberg, as you said, top 6 outside of 3 years. That's 16 top 6 finishes for the Force. Travis Reeder, who won earlier this year, that was in New Jersey. Travis Reeder, the Link Engine Management GT Radial BMW. Always a joy to watch. Got a smile on his face, and now he's got a smile on his face because he's advancing on. Travis Reeder going against either Denofa or Stookey. And there it is, like I said, Travis Reeder, winner previously this year, and just a resounding, you could just feel and hear the confidence and see it. So now we are back down to business. So we could see already advancing on. Aasbo will go against Mohan. Odie versus Dylan Hughes. Matfield versus either Adam LZ or Nick Noback. And Travis Reeder, again with that bye run, will go against either Denofa or a contender for Rookie of the Year, the M-Spec performance driver, Daniel Stookey. Chelsea Denofa in that Pennzoil Mustang RTR Spec 5D. And Daniel Stookey. So there's our standings for Rookie of the Year. So Stookey, as you see, sitting second. Mike Power out front. Nick Noback, who's in contention. He is, again, going against Adam LZ, the other RTR Ford Mustang. I know there's a There's going to be a Adam LZ Von Gittin Jr. signing, and Chelsea Denofa is going to join us at our K&N pit party. So myself and some of the other drivers will be over there at the K&N pit party, 5:30 to 6:30 if you're here in the building. So join us over there. Going to be myself and Chris Forsberg, Dylan Hughes, Chelsea Denofa. Let's see how we go. Denofa versus Stookey. Denofa, the Pennzoil BC Racing Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Initiating into the bank. There goes Chelsea Denofa. Stookey, shimmying his way a little bit lower, needs to find himself a little bit higher than where he currently is. Now past that inside clip, you can see Stookey with a quick transition. That's going to throw him offline, and exactly that. You see that quick transition didn't allow the car to literally drift out into that second outside zone. Now into that last outside zone. Denofa, masterclass, well done by that Ford Mustang.
Yeah, that was a nice looking lead run. In the chase, it looked like Stookey did make that mistake on the transition too early after inside clip 1. So initiation there, you see, it looked like Denofa was trying to get the car to rotate naturally, and he had to grab the handbrake there to get it to angle. In the chase, you got Stookey right there, but he did have to make a compromise to get there. But look at Stookey, way too early in the transition. He dives in, misses the beginning of outside zone 2, manages to back the car up into the zone, but did make a pretty big mistake, big compromise there early on in that zone. So let's watch it from the drone here. You see that stepped initiation from Denofa in the lead, but gets into the zone, not quite as high as you'd like to see Denofa in outside zone 1. Stookey's right there with him after making that earlier line compromise, and right there was that big mistake that he made that really put him offline behind Denofa, but he did manage to recover pretty quickly. He gets the car back into the right space there in the pocket behind Denofa. Slightly less angle coming by inside clip 2, but overall finished pretty strong right in that last little area of the track.
There's the current standings there. You can see Chelsea Denofa, who sits in third. Would like to hold on to that third place position. And with Chris Forsberg going out, nipping at his heels on fourth. But here we are looking at Stookey and Denofa. Stookey out front, M-Spec Performance, S15. Let's see what Stookey's got for Denofa. Can he deliver? That was a strong lead run by Denofa. Oh, look at Stookey. Now he's riding. He is really high on the bank, but Denofa, you can see him just massage that Ford Mustang. His transition, it's going to come down to the second outside zone because Stookey really made it apparent he did have that mistake, but Denofa drops it. Stookey delivering the M-Spec Performance driver past that inside clip. Is that enough to give this veteran, Chelsea Denofa, a run for his money? Stookey going for it and pushing here in the House of Drift. What are your thoughts here, Ryan? Just taking a look, assessing kind of both the runs, taking a look at this. Stookey rose to the occasion, literally.
Yeah, he really did. This drone's going to give us a great view as they come to the initiation area. Great job at both drivers. Great mimic from Chelsea in the chase. You can see Chelsea with a couple of little bobbles, but he's there in proximity. You can see him nice and tight, surging a little bit on the transition. Does a good job mimicking there as well. Getting into the pocket as they come into outside zone 2. Stookey's doing a great job in the lead. Look at it, he's got it, the car right on the bumper, right on the wall where it should be. Nice and tight on inside clip number 2. But right there is Denofa. I didn't see any major mistakes from Denofa, just a little bobble right there, which wouldn't be considered major. That's a pretty small little mistake there comparatively, but in proximity through the run, and that's what we want to see. I'd love to see that proximity from Chelsea, putting on the pressure. And but again, Stookey, great job in the lead role. Got the car on the wall in both zone 1 and 2, and got pretty far out to outside zone 3 wall as well.
All right, are we gonna have a verdict? Are they going one more time? We saw Adam LZ and Nick Noback being forced to it one more time, just keeping it tidy. Let's go to the judges. Slide them left for Denofa, right for Stookey. The battle of the sunglasses. Look at these guys. Cool as a cucumber. There we go. Chelsea Denofa gets the win and advances on. Denofa will go against Reeder. And these guys are good friends, which is always good. Denofa and Reeder, that should be one heck of a battle in 16. So as we are All right, so it looks like, again, LZ and Noback, but right now, we are, again, almost through half of the field, or half of the top 32, excuse me, but I have a special guest joining me up here. We're talking all things Tuerck drift, so let's back it up, make sure we get on camera here. But special guest, we got that of Alex Martinez. Alex Martinez, content creator out there, spreading some knowledge, spreading the love.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, not a lot of bit.
No, just a little bit.
Just teeny tiny, little scooch.
Yeah, little Wisconsin love out here.
Okay,
so.
cheese curds and spotted cow. I like that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, and the reason you're here, Tuerck drift.
Yep.
What's new in the Tuerck drift world, man? Because I mean, obviously they've been a great partner. And what does it mean to partner with Formula Drift, and why the relationship of Tuerck drift and Formula Drift?
Well, it just gets us a lot closer to the actual sport, right? We get to experience the energy, the community, really get to take a lot of the feedback that we see and hear being content creators, and also being so close to some of the sportsmen that are out there, and really apply that to the game and kind of have virtual events, in-person events, have the activation here, really stay connected to the sport, and then also try to make a badass game.
Yeah, and Tuerck drift overall, what's kind of new on the front? Because Tuerck drift 1, 2, the advancements. What are, I'm going to go personal here. What are you excited about Tuerck drift? I mean, look at the game. It's in the palm of your hands again. My 16-year-old son loves it. But what's the new hottest thing?
Well, I think the coolest thing is just trying to get other incredible brands on board. We actually just signed with Liberty Walks. Liberty Walks is going to be a new active brand,
Never heard of
part
them.
of Tuerck drift too.
Yeah.
So that's also really exciting. And yeah, I mean, just finding new ways to get the up-and-coming brands involved, and then also some passionate automotive enthusiasts. So getting some racers on there, getting some drift teams on there, and just having some fun with it. We're trying to just make it enjoyable. You know, it's a fun game, but really staying connected to the community is what makes it, I think, a little special.
Authenticity, right? I mean, authenticity. People will read right through it if it's
absolutely.
just a whack game and it looks kind of this or whatever. And there's a place for 8-bit and this and that, but authenticity. You see the graphics, you know that's Rad Dan's car, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, you're filming content for Tuerck drift. How can people find out what you're doing, what Tuerck drift's going, what they have cooking?
Oh man, I suppose that's just like the standard call to action. Check out Tuerck Motorsport on YouTube and
smash that like button, swipe up. But where else?
Instagram. You can check out Tuerck Drift, Tuerck Motorsport, and then also Alex.Martini with 2 underscores at the end. And if you guys want to come ask me questions about the sport, you're more than welcome to bother me. I'm the only guy with the big receding hairline at 28 years old.
I was like, dude, I got a receding hairline too. Out of all the cars that Tuerck drift is getting in the game, what car do you think the fans will love the most?
I think the new Z. Maybe I'm biased just because I've had a 280 and I love all the Zs, but I think the new Z is going to be it.
Z. I'm just kidding.
Come on, get out of here, man.
I'm joking. No, I think the all-new Z is rad. Unfortunately, Forsberg knocked out. Are you kind of bummed on that?
I am. But he's got such a good spirit about the whole sport, so I'm excited to see him come back and continue to just be who he is. I just love watching him.
Did you hear that stat? He says he's had top 6 finishes every one of 19 years except 3.
Yeah.
So that's 16 top 6 finishes overall.
That's incredible.
Mind you, of those 16, 3 of those are championships.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So
20 years.
Yeah, exactly. 20 years next year, baby. So
that's
again, you've been having that receding hairline since you were born.
Come on, man.
I like that you dig on yourself. I'm self-deprecating. Look at this thing. A lot of grayness right here. Well, again, Tuerck Drift 2 available on all devices, right? So download it, rip it, grip it. That's me and my wife in New Zealand. I don't know why I showed that. But yeah, download it. But yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Alex Martinez, a.k.a.
you,
Alex Martini. __.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you, sir. All right, here we go. We are back to the action. Adam LZ, Nick Noback. This is the one more time battle. Again, download Tuerck Drift. It's awesome. Rip it, grip it. And thank you so much, Mr. Martinez. All right, here we go. Back to the one more time battle. Adam LZ, a lot of fans watching, either in the building, seeing a lot of those AutoZone RTR LZ shirts. So here we go. Nick Noback. He's not a fan of him. He wants to take him down. All right, Adam LZ initiates Nick Noback. A little more posture, a little more confidence there. You can see he get the proximity, but let's get that angle there, Noback. Ooh, and he transitions way too early. Maybe gets lost in that Nitto tire smoke. Adam LZ needs to get deeper on the outside zone, and he does, towards the latter portion of that run. Past that second inside clip. Noback nowhere to be found because you couldn't see him because of all that Nitto tire smoke, but a great showing there. Stand and deliver. What do we got here as far as results? And again, we will take a look. What do we got here with the Air Force instant replay?
All right, so as LZ gets initiated, you can see in the chase there, Noback just a little bit behind, but doing a better job than he did on the first run of mimicking the line at least. Had a little bit lower angle there at the end of the zone. transitions too early, hits inside clip with the left side of his car, which is not a good look through that area. LZ didn't get into outside zone 2 immediately, but did get in there later on in the zone, did get himself up to the wall. So let's watch it from the drone and see what happened. So right there, Noback does make a compromise early on outside zone 1, and then on line, and then later on angle. He gets into the smoke here, transitions too early. You can see his left wheel is what runs over the outside zone 1 base, or sorry, inside clip 1 base. And then as they go to outside zone 2, Noback is a little bit too far back, and LZ was not in the zone initially, but did work his way out there later in the zone.
So again, still leaving a window of opportunity. Not that LZ was watertight, and Nick Noback had some mistakes, but if he throws down a really gangster lead run, talking about Noback and LZ, you know, if he is going to go one more time again, or if Noback is that dominant and LZ makes some major mistakes, he could get knocked out. But look at LZ chomping. He is absolutely drooling all over the back of that BMW, sweating him. Oh, Noback comes out of it. That's going to be it. That's going to be it, unfortunately, for the CoroWorks BMW. Hits the wall, gets out of shape. Adam LZ does not need to continue, but this is good practice, comfortability with that Ford Mustang. Adam LZ will advance on to the top 16. Unfortunately, that CoroWorks GT Radial BMW knocks himself out. He knew what he needed to do, and that's what I was talking about. He threw down that gangster run, did that X factor, you know, got into the wall, didn't disrupt, but unfortunately it did. The wall bit back, took him out. So Nick Noback unfortunately knocked out, but a lot of fans hyped to see Adam LZ advance on. Guess what? He goes against Matt Field. Ooh. All right, so there you are. You're seeing Aasbo, Field, Denofa. Top 3 are still in the mix. Aasbo will go against Mohan, Odie versus Dylan Hughes, the Dozer, Matt Field versus LZ, Travis Reeder versus Denofa. We're officially halfway through our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. I'm Jared Dienda, Ryan Lontaine. Ryan the Laser Lontaine zeroed in on judging, co-hosting alongside his other 2 judges, Chris Yule and Brian Eggert. All right, before we move on to our next battle, we are seeing Wataru Masuyama and Michael Essa. And here we are, look at this, the Type S shred, baby.
It was like seeing ain't nothing that you can do about it.
Oh man, you know what? The spooky shreds presented by Type S. That I don't know if you saw it. Join them October 25th. Dropping the video. Did you see music by T-Pain? Did you see that?
I didn't see that. I was too busy looking at what Chelsea was wearing.
Oh. You know what he's wearing. I know. Eggert knows what he's wearing. Spooky Shreds, October 25th, Halloween. Chelsea Denofa's number's 88. Again, the music by T-Pain, I'll admit, I heard the music. It's kind of dope. It's kind of dope. Our friend T-Pain put together a sick track, and just wait, join it. Spooky Shreds, presented by Type S. It's pretty fire. I love Halloween, by the way. My birthday's next Wednesday, by the way, too.
Oh, okay. I'll make sure to send something.
Yeah, send me a text.
Something expensive.
Just send me a text. All right, so here we go. Qualifying continues. Wataru Masuyama, number 2 qualifier. He's going to finish top 10, ideally. He's going against a former champ, Michael Essa, who qualified 31st. That's right, the former champ. He was having some boost issues. He found the ghost in the machine. It seems like he's dialed in now. Ooh, just as I say that, he drops down. Masuyama, number 2 qualifier, on pace. That Buy Now Japan vehicle putting it down, yes sir. Yo, the land of the rising sun, Buy Now Japan, Sylvia is delivering. Michael Essa, you saw him initiate, drop down a little bit, but great job by Masuyama, who is just really pouring it on, you know, as the season progresses. I'm really excited to see what we can see from him. That car being operated by the Drift Cave, which is a Matt Field shop. Go ahead, Ryan.
I'm not sure if Essa dropped down there or if Masuyama was hitting the wall beyond outside zone 1. So right there you see Masuyama not all the way up, but he does get all the way up at the end of the zone. Goes beyond the zone, taps the wall, and gets out wide to that white line on the driver's right, which is not ideal. It's not exactly where we want to see the lead driver, but in the chase position, you can see there, in that area, Essa made a bit of a correction, and I believe it's because he was trying to anticipate where Masuyama was going to go. So let's watch Masuyama's line. He's low here, and then as he gets up, he goes up way too late. Goes out real wide near that line on driver's right, and in the chase position, Essa's just trying to kind of bide his time and not surpass him, because I'm sure Essa expected that car to drop down where he was supposed to off of outside zone 1, and when he didn't, Essa sort of hung out to dry a little bit there. He's kind of waiting for Masuyama to get back online, come back onto the right part of the track to get to inside clip number 1.
Let's see what Essa's got in the tank. The FCP Euro Liqui-Moly Bilstein BMW. Like I said, the former champ. Yesterday was just could not have boost. He went from 1,000 horsepower down to NA 300 horsepower. So it just goes to show you how crucial, just how it was going down. And Lorette Nickel got the insight and the communique. He was on his laptop trying to find it. Looks like he found it, but let's see what we got here from Essa out front. Essa initiates, rock solid, like a rock. Look at that, big angle there from Essa and Wataru Masuyama. Now he falls on the down the bank into that second outside zone. Nice job by Essa, getting intimate with the wall. Big angle from Essa, and now puts a stamp on it. Well done from Essa out front. So again, mistakes on either side in the chase position, but lead versus lead, chase versus chase. Adam LZ in the building. High fives all around for Adam LZ. The mustache and the smile says it all.
All right, so here we have the BC Racing side-by-side to help us out. Put one eyeball on each screen. Watch where the lead car is going here. Looking at Mike S on the right side, he leaves outside zone 1 just a little bit late himself, but not as late as Masuyama did on his lead, where Masuyama actually tapped the wall there past the end of outside zone 1. Proximity-wise, they're about even through this part of the track here. You can see Essa got a little bit closer at the inside clip as they cross the finish line, about even again. So kind of trading off errors here through the course. It's going to come down to looking at who made smaller errors, who made bigger errors, who was able to match the lead run better in the chase position. The mimic is a big part, of course, mimicking the line, mimicking the angle, and mimicking the transition points as well. So I'm going to have to get each driver's vote, or each judge's vote in here, and we'll see what the results are very shortly.
All right, so waiting for the results, taking a look at all these replays. And look at, again, the RTR camp's pretty hyped. They're both in it. Slide him left for Masuyama, right for Essa, and it looks like Michael Essa gets the win. So, Michael Essa gets the win. Wataru Masuyama is knocked out. All right, the energy is electric. Oh man, and Lorette, what's going on with our boy Adam LZ?
Oh my gosh, Jared, this is so much fun. Chelsea Denofa is down here with Adam LZ, and he gave him a high five and said, "I know you had it in you." That's so awesome. Adam, you are just dialing in the track. You seem so comfortable. Has anything changed for this round for you?
It's really just repetition. You know, we're 8 rounds in the season, and it's taken a little while to get used to the car, but like being on a track that I'm familiar with, and like the team has the setup so dialed for this track that I can just go do my thing, and then I don't got to worry about anything else.
Okay, so now we're looking for top 16. You're going to be battling Matt Field. What are your expectations there?
I want to take him out.
Big words from Adam LZ. He is on a momentum run. Best of luck, Adam. Thanks so much for your time, guys.
Oh, look at that. So shots fired. He says he's feeling the flow. So you know who is an Adam LZ fan, Ryan, is Frederick Aasbo. The Hammer says, go ahead, take him out. So Adam LZ in top 16, and we'll see, can he do it? We won't see. Again, you're going to want to tune in 7 p.m. for top 16, but stay on this channel right now, baby. Don't go anywhere. We got more action. We're only halfway through, a little more than halfway through a top 32. JTP Justin Pollock is a no-show. So unfortunately, Pollock, man, he's had a treacherous weekend. And again, just a very exciting driver to watch. We saw him going to the wall. What any updates about Pollock, or what were you going to say, Ryan?
Oh, no, he went into the outside zone 2 wall pretty aggressively.
Yesterday,
drove up the bank, put rubber on the poles for the fence. Ripped a lot of his suspension pieces off. I think there were some wrinkles in his firewall. Went out into qualifying, did his qualifying lap. The car did not look settled. It looked like it wasn't 100%.
Yeah.
Went out in practice today and hit the wall in outside zone 1 pretty aggressively, and apparently the car is bad.
See better days, but Justin Pollock, always an aggressive driver and a gentleman that's coming off a victory most recently at round 7 at a brand new venue, Utah Motorsports campus. Always a joy, an OG. That Threes Racing, again, Auto Manufacturers Championship, well, Toyota. Toyota gets it, courtesy of Frederick Aasbo, Ryan Tuerck, Jonathan Castro, and that man, Kenshiro Gushi. That Threes Racing Toyota GR86. Toyota is your 2022 Auto Cup champion. Congratulations to Toyota for locking that up. The Toyota and the GR camp. Again, between the Toyota GR Supras, the GR86, and the Toyota GR Corolla. Congratulations. Ken Gushi advances on, and he will go against Michael Essa in top 16. When we come back, we'll see our next battle. We're more than halfway through the Type S title fight presented by AutoZone here at the House of Drift.
The engine management solution for champions the world over. We know what it takes to win. Pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Our tech support are performance specialists, available 24 hours and ready to talk one-on-one about your winning formula. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
How does one car going wild in the mall help us tell the GR story?
You're right.
We need more cars.
All right, we are back with Rome Charpentier and Josh Love. Everybody needs some loving. You know you love him. Joshua Love. Rome Charpentier, speaking of the love, this gentleman. If you haven't seen it, he's giving away an NRG steering wheel. All you need to do is follow Rome CP Energy Innovations, and you might win his Formula Drift Irwindale steering wheel. Again, more than halfway through. As we have just 6 more battles left here in our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. Ironically, look at this. Give hell to moderns is what it says on the wing, and that's what Josh Love is looking at with that Jasper Keys BMW. Rome Charpentier with that E36 throwing it down. Look at Josh Love. He's loving the wall, so is Rome. All right, let's see how they handle this inside clip, transitioning past that traditional start-finish into that second outside zone. Rome going deep, and Josh Love, you can see him right there in tow. Could be a little closer there, but I'll tell you what, Rome, he's very familiar with this track. You know, not just driving here for Formula Drift, but doing some Pro-Am events, the Drift League. There's many events that happen here at the House of Drift, hence the name. Let's take a look at it again.
Rome was driving aggressively here. He was up high on outside zone 1, and right away, you can see his cars right up there near the wall. He did work it up even higher near the end of the zone. In the chase position there, you can see Josh Love doing a pretty good job at mimicking, not really close in proximity, but within a couple of car lengths, and he's mimicking his line pretty well, so he's doing a good job of mimicking the line in the chase position just a little bit further back. So as we go into Josh Love's lead run now, he needs to get up on outside zone 1, right on the wall earlier. That'll give him a slight advantage there if he can ride the wall higher earlier than Rome did in his lead run. Zone 2's got to get stuck right to the wall as well. And in the chase, Rome has to be mimicking the line, the angle, the transitions the way that Josh did, but he needs to be closer to gain that advantage in the chase position.
Yeah, just that dialing it in, just refining it. You know, it was good, it was exciting, but Josh needs to just really kind of put it down. Let's see what he does. You see Rome, kind of an early initiation, didn't really set himself up for success, but look, seems to be working out so far right now. Again, getting that fancy angle with the drone. Want to see the overhead, want to see all the angles here. Now coming to that second outside zone, you can see Josh Love and then Rome Charpentier. Look at that, that's the proximity we're looking for. Dial it in, make no corrections, and that just shows you just that, again, that car confidence, the man with machine, not versus machine.
Yeah, Rome looked very confident there. He looked like he was in the pocket, comfortable, the car was settled, he was right where he needed to be, plus he had the proximity that Josh didn't have in his chase run. In the lead position, I'd like to see it again, like you said, from a higher vantage point to see really where Josh was positioning his car so we can get a nice comparison, and I believe we have a side-by-side coming. Nice little treat from Kemp. And then as you see here outside zone 1, good job it looked by the end there from Josh Love, transitioning to inside clip 1. Josh was quite a bit off of that inside clip. He was maybe on the 3rd hash mark, and it doesn't look like he's all the way wide in the beginning of outside zone 2, but he kind of leaves it a little bit early. Decent job from Josh in the lead. The car looked settled. He wasn't making any mistakes. The car wasn't moving around, but maybe just a little bit on the precision side of things that was lacking in the lead position.
All right, there's Rome waving to the people. That Jasper Keys BMW looking mean in that black livery. Thank you to Jasper Keys for his support of Josh Love, the Big Duck Club, Holly Performance, After Hours Autosports, and of course the green to pink fade. Rome gaining a lot of attention in New Jersey, getting 2nd place. But here's our BC Racing Go for Gold instant replay.
And we've got this nice side-by-side up in the sky, so you can see really where those cars are positioned. So you can see Josh was a little bit lower early on, but did work his car up on the right screen there in outside zone 1. Same thing for Rome. And then as they transition to zone 2, you can see Rome's deeper in outside zone 2 early on and all the way through the zone. But look at the proximity. The proximity is definitely there from Rome from start to finish. Josh did have sort of a fluctuating proximity. Wasn't always right on his door. Did get close in a couple of areas, but I think Rome had a more consistent proximity up close and personal with Josh Love.
And that seems to be consistent with all 3 judges. Rome Charpentier gets the win. Josh, we love you and can't wait to see what you got for us next year. Josh Love, that Jasper Keys After Hours Autosports BMW. That's a wrap for him. But Rome Charpentier, the Garagistic Federal Tires BMW continues on. RCP into 16. All right, our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. Rockstar, the official energy drink of Formula Drift, continues on. Remember, we have the Royal Purple Top 16. Royal Purple, the official oil of Formula Drift. Next up, Jeff Jones versus Mike Power. Now, this is one to watch for Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year, Mike Power. He's kind of had a difficult build-up week. You know, he parked his vehicle, he parked his truck, and his trailer got broken into one night. The next night, the actual truck got broken into. Moved the truck, nothing's been going on, but saw him debuted that new Type S livery. You can see the point difference there between Mike Power and Daniel Stookey. Mike Power with that new Type S livery looks cool, gloss black with some barbed wire and some chain link looking a little tattoo inspired. Going against Los Angeles' own Jeff Jones, that Evil Auto Works Nissan 370Zs on GT radial tires. Both these guys on GT. Let's see what we got here from Jeff Jones and Mike Power. Jones qualifying 10th, Mike Power qualifying 23rd. Type S, the official lighting of Formula Drift. Here we go, Jeff Jones initiates into the bank. Mike Power needs to, a little failure to launch there on initiation from Power. But Power, you can see him dancing down there low on the bank, Jeff Jones. Evo Auto Works. Flip that around, you got love, and that's what he's showing to the track and showing to the fans. Jeff Jones continues on through the course, getting low, getting tight. Jeff Jones making it look easy out front. Mike Power having a difficult time out back.
In the chase position on outside zone 1, that is not where you want to end up. If you're down low like that, even if you have a slower car, you're running that lower, tighter line, you're going to be catching up to the lead car, and it's going to be really hard to maintain drift, and it's going to be really hard to get your car back up the bank. So unfortunately, you're sort of stuck down there, and you're in a holding pattern waiting for the zone to end. Yeah. But unfortunately for Power, he wasn't able to really work the car into the right part of the track, and ended up straightening up. I don't know if that was, I've made enough mistakes that I'm just going to save my tires so that when I go to the lead position, I will have more rubber under the car, potentially, or if it was really something that happened, that he just straightened up and he's like, okay, I'm just going to leave it. I think it's smart though to, if you're in the chase and you've made that mistake, just stop drifting.
Yeah.
Save your tires. It's going to give you maybe a slight advantage when you go to the lead position now, because you are going to have more rubber in your tires compared to the other driver.
Well, what's interesting here is when that battle ended, Jeff Jones, who was dominant, he came and parked, talked to the officials. Don't know if something was going on or lost a body part, but looks like we are clear to send, so he pulls up back to the line. All right, so here we go. Mike Power out front, sitting on a deficit. That Type S S15 from New York, going against Southern California, West Coast versus East Coast. Mike Power initiates. Look at this, Jeff Jones giving himself a little too much room. All right, and Mike Power gets and taps that wall, stays in it. This is what we saw from him yesterday in qualifying. He hit hard, not once, but twice, going to that second outside zone. Here comes Mike Power. Now here comes Jeff Jones. Looks like, okay, Jones could be closer, but given, the scenario that he is looking at, Jones just barely crosses that. It almost came unwound. A wise man once say, not the prettiest from Jeff Jones, or, I've said it about things. Again, not the prettiest Jeff Jones, but talking about that run, Jeff Jones is a handsome man, but unfortunately, with Mike Power having that lackluster chase run, yeah, Jeff Jones is going to get the victory.
Yeah, that incomplete from Power in the chase position is the nail in the coffin, unfortunately, here. In the chase position for Jeff Jones, he did not incomplete. He was a little bit off there on outside zone 1, but still in the game. Right here he transitions for outside zone 2, and you can see that he does gain that proximity, gets himself right in the pocket, falls back a little bit again, but is on the right line through this area. You can see that he's sort of lost in the smoke, has to run a bit of a tighter line there to sort of keep angle in the car over the finish line, but like you said, he did not have that incomplete against him, so Jeff Jones will move on.
Awesome, Jeff Jones gets the win. Like I said, Jones, he's gonna go against Rome Charpentier in the top 16. In that chase position, he needs to tighten that up if he's gonna go against Rome. We saw how, aggressive Rome was. Unfortunately, Mike Power, that Type S S15, knocked out in the 32. Here's how the bracket is shaping up. You can see we got 4 more battles left. 4 more battles left to fill those spots. Officially 3/4 of the way completed with our Rockstar Energy top 32. And number 3 qualifier, Brandon Sorensen from Las Vegas, going against Dean Carnage Kearney, who definitely fought for it. Everybody be sure to hashtag FDIRW, like our fan right there, getting a video up close and personal. Dean Carnage Kearney in the burnout box. All right, Brandon Sorensen turning 18 this year. Dean Carnage Kearney, what do you make? He had a tough go last night, got into the wall, went for the handbrake, nothing.
Nothing. That's a scary feeling, especially when you're going towards a wall at 70-something miles per hour. They're both very fast drivers. They're both on throttle, very aggressively drivers. So this should be an interesting battle. Have we had this matchup before? I'm kind of interested to see how this is going to go. Dean Kearney is pointing in the wrong direction and stopped currently, so I'll have to see what's going on with him. Hopefully we can get somebody over there to check that out.
All right, the HyperNFT.io, the metaverse coming into the real world. Finding out what's going on here with Dean Carnage Kearney. Oh man, so we are hearing, speaking of Brandon Sorensen and the United States Air Force BMW, let's do some Air Force Aim High trivia. Which U.S. Air Force aircraft can fly on the edge of space? You got A, F-22, B, MQ-9. You got C, which is the U-2, or the final CV-22. Again, which U.S. Air Force aircraft can fly on the edge of space, courtesy of the United States Air Force, the official military sponsor of Formula Drift. Thank you to them. You can find that Aim High Air Force trivia in the description of the video. All right, so Brandon Sorensen pulling off because Dean Kearney calls an NGK competition timeout. NGK, do spark plugs time out? Yeah, they sure do, and timely spark plug replacement not only prevents fouling, it provides the best engine performance, it ensures less repair time, and can save you money on unnecessary repairs. Visit ngksparkplugs.com to learn more about OE-suggested spark plug intervals and find the best plug for your engines. NGK, the ignition specialist. All right, so as we advance on to the action, let's advance down to Lorette Nickel. Lorette.
Thanks, Jared. Rome and I are just hanging out down here chatting. It's getting a little misty, so if anyone can make a call and make sure that that rain does not fall, that would be amazing. Rome Charpentier, congratulations on your win. Out here at Irwindale, conditions it seems like they're changing. What are you learning out here?
So we kind of took a different approach. We set up the car the first thing right when we got here, and we actually have not changed the car at all the entire weekend. It's a very rare scenario. Normally we're changing everything on the car, but I think we're just learning to kind of drive through it and adapt. Also because we don't know what the temperature of the track's going to be, and you can get in line, and by the time you're in the front of the line, then now the track's a different temperature. We're starting to see raindrops here, so that's kind of concerning. So we don't even know really how to set up the car properly for the change. So we're just doing the best we can. I trust the team 100%. They set up a car great on day one, and we have not done anything.
That's so good, Roman. It seems like when you come into Irwindale, you have to have plans A through Q.
Yeah, and it was weird that plan A worked. And I think maybe that's why we didn't need a plan B, C, or D.
Rome, thank you so much for your time. We'll see you in top 16. Jared?
All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll give you an update of what's going down here at the House of Drift. This is the Type S title fight presented by AutoZone. The final round, a champion will be crowned tonight under the lights.
NGK makes ignition coils. Why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our energy and expertise into making better coils. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance. And because we race to win, we improve the design, testing, and validation of our coils for better performance. NGK spark plugs and coils, better together.
How does one car going wild in a mall help us tell the GR story?
You're right.
We need more cars.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
Performance starts with each individual person and what they want to accomplish with their vehicle. I spend a lot of time working on my vehicles. It's my peace and quiet. I started using K&N parts when I got my first car, and they've always worked really well for me. Obviously, performance parts should increase your horsepower, but you don't want to lose your reliability either. So performance has to be all the way around.
Formula Drift is brought to you by BC Racing, the official suspension of Formula Drift. Go for gold. Falcon Tire. Tuerck Drift, the official blockchain game of Formula Drift.
The feeling of drifting a car sideways, it is the ultimate form of car control.
It's the calm before the storm, and it's about to go down. It's going to be a dogfight.
And clean start, here we go.
You take that breath and you kind of hold it for 1 split second. And then let's go, let's do this.
I think what the judges want is an all-out battle every single time.
Since I've been doing this for so long and I haven't won a championship, I've come close multiple times. You just got to do one event at a time, one day at a time, but do I want to? No.
Are you ready to send it?
That look on this face right there, that's game time. I'm going to try to take it all.
Look at that, Aasbo. You can't count anybody out. Oh my goodness, holy banana cakes.
Oh my goodness, this will give you massive anxiety.
Jesus Christ, stack up my blood flowing.
It's time to turn it up. We need to stay within striking distance of this championship.
I've won the championship twice now, 2015 and 2021. Going back to back will put me in a very elite club. I think we can do it.
Look at that. All right, there is the HyperNFT.io Dodge Viper, and it looks like he is posted up, ready to rip. Talking about the metaverse to the universe. HyperNFT.io taking supercars digitally to the real world. How we doing out there, Irwindale? Make some noise. Put your hands where my eyes can see. It's a nice little crowd for a 32. A lot of people kind of temperate. Parking, not the most ideal here at Irwindale, just FYI. A lot of people like to come, like maybe during halftime, high fives and handshakes over the K&N booth. I'll be over there with some drivers. You know, Vaughn getting junior, he's got his thing. A lot of the drivers kind of activate, high fives and handshakes all around. Our boys over at Lean Customs, they do limited edition pins every round. They're selling some pins. I went by the Heat Wave booth, got some shades, got some sunglasses. We need to get you some prescription Heat Wave, bro.
That'd be cool.
That sounded so disingenuous. I've never heard anything.
I need new glasses.
No,
it's perfect timing.
No, you know what?
It's true.
The way to, yeah, I got a guy. That would be cool.
That would be really cool, Jared.
All right, so all joking aside, we are ready to throw down once again. So let's go back to Brandon Sorensen and Dean Carnage Kearney. The NGK competition timeout being utilized. There's the U.S. Air Force BMW of Las Vegas' own 18-year-old Brandon Sorensen.
Did we find out what was wrong with Kearney's car?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. Oh,
that was my Irish. That's my Irish. Oh, look at this guy just chilling. Lonely, so lonely.
One is the loneliest number.
Frederick Aasbo chilling the hammer just on ice right now. He's watching feverishly. He's got a lot of time to dwell and think about, because again, we're back at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Lorette's giving us an update saying no power steering for Dean Carnage Kearney. All right, so no power steering for Dean Carnage Kearney. So let's hopefully got it fixed. Brandon Sorensen, Kearney. Sorensen initiates. Dean initiates. You see, lacking the angle there. Brandon putting it right on the wall. Dean doing a bit of an Irish jig in the back. Now past that inside clip into that second outside zone. Brandon, great posture. You see the poise here, and Dean, he is just on the struggle bus, unfortunately, for Carnage. Look at Brandon. Wow, again, number 3 qualifier, rightfully so. That was a solid lead run. That was a high qualifying lead run. We talk about throw down, the highest qualifying run you could do. Chase car, mimic that. Dean, unfortunately, you know, seems like he's got the power steering. Maybe he's fighting it. I don't know. We're not in the cockpit. Let's take a look at it again.
Yeah, Dean Kearney had a couple of wall taps, a significant one in outside zone 1. Watch here as he gets the car initiated right there. Car taps the wall, loses angle, stays in drift, but definitely moving around a lot. As he transitions for inside clip 1, you're going to see him way off of that inside clip. In the lead position, Brandon's doing a great job. Right here, another wall tap from Dean Kearney. Over-rotates the car a little bit, has to lift off. Gets back on throttle, but unfortunately he's lost the proximity there. And I think Dean had a big lift at inside clip. Maybe not a big lift, but a lift at inside clip number 1 that sort of hurt his proximity as well. So watch the transition here from Dean. You can see the smoke goes away completely from Dean. He fell back considerably, taps the wall there, and that's when he, I think, tried to angle into the wall a little bit, you know, get a little angle into the car to sort of save it from slapping the front into the wall, but it caused the car to over-rotate a little bit. Got off throttle a little there to try to save it. He did save it, but lost that proximity, so he fell back considerably. Like you said, Dean did have some problems in the chase position. They're now trying to zip tie the car back together from those wall hits so that he can get back on track and not lose all of his body panels as he's going around the track. There is a big rear fascia on that car where the taillights are, so it's not just a bumper fix. I think it's probably a few different things back there that need to be secured after that multiple wall tap run from Dean Kearney.
Dean's been making some really fun content with the Daily Driven Exotics guys, and looks like, yeah, like you said, the fascia, it's kind of a whole unit back there. One car caught on fire. He's ripping around in McLarens. He's driving, I mean, he's doing a lot of fun stuff. So be sure to follow Dean Kearney. Here we go, the second run. Let's see what we got. Dean and the Hyper NFT Dodge Viper. Brandon Sorensen, let's see how we do, bud. Again, number 3 qualifier, put down a solid lead run. What's he gonna do in the chase? Woo! Gangster initiation there from Dean Kearney. He flicks it, that rate to angle. Looks like Brandon had to kind of back off a little bit. You know, Dean with some wavering. Brandon Sorensen comes a little unwound here. Oh, and Dean Kearney. Carnage lives up to his name.
That looks bad. You can see the front right of that car all the way down on the ground. So he's definitely broken some suspension parts up front. There's a lot of squat in the front right of that car right there. So that's going to be an incomplete from Dean Kearney in the lead position.
All right, so we will see how Dean is. And with that, unofficially, Brandon Sorensen will get the victory. So it looks like he is okay. The fire safety crew here at Irwindale on it. Just want to make sure. But we'll get the tow truck out here, get him off course, and a lot of the drivers making their way back to the pits. Surprised, this is kind of the first real big hit we've seen on either bank. So let's take a look at it again here. Here's Dean, goes in that second outside zone. Brandon kind of having some troubles there, chase him down, and Dean just taps that back right. It whips him in, and that wall, unforgiving. He saved it yesterday, not the case here today.
Yep.
So with that crash, Dean Kearney, that would basically retire him. Brandon wouldn't need to continue on, even though he makes a mistake. Look at that, you see metal fly. Looks like Brandon hit kind of the barrel of the wheel. All right, well, again, Ryan Lonsane, let's make it official. Bring in a special guest that we have here. But slide him left for Sorensen and right for Dean Kearney. So, Brandon Sorensen advances on the United States Air Force BMW. So go and drop that down. And we have a special guest here in the building while we clean up here on our second outside zone. I've seen this young man grow up, and he's drifting in his native country and kind of native region, but he comes to us from Latvia. Nicholas, aka Nick Knack, is joining us up here in the booth. Nicholas, again, Nick Knack. What's your Instagram handle?
It's usually Nick Knack Drift.
Nick Knack Drift. So yep. Nick Knack, I remember playing Frisbee with this dude in New Jersey at a house party. You were, I mean, how old were you then?
That was a long time ago. I was like 12.
You were like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
We're drinking beers, and I'm playing Frisbee with this young man. Well, he was piloting an E36 back in the day. And what are some of the accolades or some of the championships that you've gained since then, man?
So yeah, I started off driving when I was 12, and I was visiting USA and all the other events. But yeah, now I have been driving for the past 5 years, and I've done a lot of events. I have won a couple of championships, and yeah, this season was eventful. Like, I drove in Drift Masters, I drove in Iron Drift King, So all around Europe, trying to find what I can do. And yeah, with the statistics in this year, like I had 11 events and 8 podiums, so not bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're here now partying again with you guys.
Well, again, 17 years old. I don't know how Latvia is. I haven't been over to Latvia, but I saw Kristaps Blush here. You're here.
He's too.
I saw Dimitri Brutsky. There's a lot of drivers out of Pro Spec, drivers that formerly drove in Formula Drift. What do you think is the appeal of Formula Drift? Why do you think everybody wants to come to Formula Drift in the States?
So you see, FD has grown a lot for the past years because the last time I was in Irwindale, that was like 3 years ago. And coming back now and seeing how the cars have progressed and the tire sizes and all the, I don't know, craziness going on. Yeah, like it's just something out of the world, and you want to come here to try yourself out. And yeah, like I have done everything in Europe, and I'm trying to aim higher, drive something new. So FD could be the highest step I can go. So.
Awesome.
That's why we're here, talking with some supporters, and we'll see how we do.
Awesome. Well, again, going from 12 years old to 17 years old, we have 8 rounds of the Formula Drift Championship. What track would you most like to drive, given, you know, Long Beach, Atlanta, Seattle, now Utah? You know, what track would you like to drive most in the Formula Drift Championship?
Well, Irwindale is always a special one because it's the final and everyone's pushing hard. But since it's going to be a new championship if I compete, then every single track would be badass to drive on. So.
I like it. All right, so again, thank you, Nick Knack Drift. Again, 17 years young. Again, known this young man since he was 12 years old, and just a lovable character, and looking forward to see what he can do if he joins us over here in the States. And thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Enjoyed the event.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much to Nick Knack. All right, so as Nick Knack steps off, we're going to throw it down to a gentleman that's a dad himself, and he's seen his little boy grow up, and his wife's watching him at home, and he is running that Rain-X truck and SUV, silver livery, diamond plate forever. Do you like the new livery, Lorette?
I love the new livery, and you guys cannot believe what Ryan Tuerck's team just did in this space of the top 32. They have installed a new engine because your last one blew on the last lap of practice. Do you know what happened?
Yeah, last lap of practice came around inner 2, and the motor just it started to lose a lot of power, and then it locked up. So the boys knew that we had to change it, so they just went right to town. I think Steph and my crew chief Brian are looking at data right now to find out what the issue was and make sure it doesn't happen for our top 32 battle out there. And really the silver lining is my qualifying position from last night to give us the amount of time necessary today to get the motor swap done. And the team killed it. You know, they know what needs to get done, and they did it as fast as possible, and we're ready to rock.
I think you were definitely due for a break, and good thing that you're on the bottom right side of the bracket. And so your team, I know you have a ton of confidence in them. Biddy's going back up to the spotter stand. Irwindale, new engine. Does that make you nervous?
No. Fresh engine, and it only builds more confidence in the situation for me. So we'll go out there. Hopefully this rain holds off, and have a nice grippy track to lay some Netto tires on.
Okay. Is there a plan that you have coming into today?
Really just to drive the best I can. You know, I didn't feel great in qualifying yesterday and through practice, and this morning I was able to clean up some stuff. So really I just want to go out there and just drive comfortably and lay down the best laps that I can.
When you say you weren't feeling great in practice and in qualifying, have you been able to rectify that?
Yeah, a little bit this morning in practice. I was a lot more comfortable behind the wheel, and I feel like I was a little more consistent in some of the areas I was struggling with.
Any concern about the rain?
I mean, only for car setup. It's like, you know, how wet is it going to get, and are we going to make a transition on a car to car setup stuff? So that's really the wait and find out deal.
Ryan, thank you so much for your time. Jared, Ryan.
Thank you so much. Good luck to you, Ryan, as Shannon's watching from home. And yeah, a little bit of drizzle. That's why Snoop Dogg carries an umbrella, for drizzle. All right, so as we continue the action, 2 more battles left. A cleanup here on aisle 2, that outside zone 2. There's the bracket, but we're finding out that Yves Meyer, he is out. The signature throat chop with your hand, Yves Meyer is out. So Simon Olsen will have a bye run. After that, Alec Robbins versus Darren Kelly, that Aston Martin from New Zealand. And finally, Ryan Tuerck, who we just had some words with, going against Jonathan Hurst. That is the House of Drift. Sold out, baby. That's right. the House of Drift, the Type S title fight presented by AutoZone. Don't go anywhere. We're going to clean up the track. When we come back, more Formula Drift action.
Performance starts with each individual person and what they want to accomplish with their vehicle. I spend a lot of time working on my vehicles. It's my peace and quiet. I started using K&N parts when I got my first car, and they've always worked really well for me. Obviously, performance parts should increase your horsepower, but you don't want to lose your reliability either. So performance has to be all the way around.
The first time you try Pedal Commander, you'll feel oh yeah.
Welcome to round 5 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We call this the Crossroads. Matt Field, the guy to beat, but right behind him, Frederick Aasbo with Chris Forsberg, and then Ryan Tuerck sits in 4th.
It's go time. Let's do this.
These cars these days, they're so insane to drive.
Oh!
It's really difficult. You're kind of on the knife edge all the time.
Man, what a crazy event.
We got 20 seconds to shine. We can't make any mistakes. If you do, you're out.
Oh! We got contact! Oh boy!
Priority right now is keeping everything together.
At Royal Purple, we develop synthetic lubricants that outperform on reliability, performance, efficiency, and sustainability. From the racetrack to the cul-de-sac, from on the clock to the ship dock. For the highest performance now and protection for the future. No matter what drives you, Royal Purple.
The feeling of drifting a car sideways, it is the ultimate form of car control.
It's the calm before the storm, and it's about to go down. It's going to be a dogfight.
And clean start, here we go.
You take that breath and you kind of hold it for one split second, and then let's go, let's do this.
I think what the judges want is an all-out battle every single time.
Since I've been doing this for so long and I haven't won a championship, I've come close multiple times. You just got to do one event at a time, one day at a time, but do I want to? No.
Are you ready to send it?
That look on this face right there, that's game time. I'm going to try to take it all.
Look at that, Aasbo. You can't count anybody out. Oh my goodness, holy banana cakes.
Oh my goodness, this will give you massive anxiety.
Jesus Christ, stack up my blood flowing.
It's time to turn it up. We need to stay within striking distance of this championship.
I've won the championship twice now. 2015 and 2021. Going back to back, and we'll put them in a very elite club. I think we can do it.
Look at that. Oh man, look at this. We're seeing a little bit of drizzle. Oh boy. Oh boy. The plot thickens, or it moistens in this case. That's kind of significant right there. So, it's so ironic. I was like, man, we're actually ahead of schedule. We're scheduled to go to 5:15, but we have all right, so the rain jackets are coming out. The crew, a little bit of moisture here. I didn't bring a rain jacket, Ryan.
I didn't either, Jared. It's gonna just have to stay
it's
inside.
California, come on,
the
man.
The mamas and the papas are full of crap.
I know.
The younger people will not know
I
what
know,
I'm talking
exactly.
about.
Oh man, that is significant.
Yeah, there's a lot of rain.
Holy cow. Okay, well. Now, so what's gonna happen here are sight laps, because all the drivers have seen dry conditions up until this point. So I'm assuming that we'll institute sight laps. That's given grip conditions.
Yeah.
So Simon Olsen, he's in the Pedal Commander burnout box. Simon, is he just, I mean, he's just gonna run. He doesn't need a sight lap because he's got a bye run. Okay, all right, well, yeah,
Yeah, so right now the drivers need to go out and do a sight lap because it is so wet. Nobody has driven on a wet track here, and this is a completely different set of circumstances, track conditions that drivers will not be accustomed to. So they're going to get a sight lap to feel out the grip level. I'm sure it's going to be very slippery in the majority of the areas on the track because there's rubber that's been laid down over the last couple of days of drifting. And then when you put water on rubber like that, it's not going to be grippy at all. So going into outside zone 2 is going to be the scariest experience of anybody's life here if you're trying to run a good lead run. Right now, Simon Olsen is feeling it out. Yeah, this is just he's doing a bye run.
Yeah.
So, and that is due to the fact that Yves Meyer was not able to repair the damage to his engine. I believe it was a head gasket is what I heard. That went during practice, and between practice and now they were trying to get that engine repaired, but did not happen in time. So that was what you saw right there was the result of Yves Meyer not arriving at the line. Simon Olsen gets a bye run. He does move into top 16. He will be battling Brandon Sorensen in the top 16. And yeah, that was a bye run. That was beautiful.
One and
nicely done. And we're going to move on to Alec Robbins and Darren Kelly in our next battle.
And we will give them a full sight run.
Yes.
And then we will see the battle.
Exactly.
And rightfully so. We want to expedite. We want to get through here. And what's ideal, what would be ideal is let it go ahead. You rain during halftime. It's cool. Obviously, want to join the party down to the K&N, fun haver, go to Lean, go to Heatwave. Awesome. Love it. Great. So this is Alec Robbins' sight lap, our boy from Becker, Minnesota, the Facetto Nissan 350Z. This is his sight lap. So if he spins, if something happens, it doesn't count. Obviously, we're not seeing Darren Kelly on track. Hey, FYI, Darren Kelly is from New Zealand.
Okay.
He's a Formula Drift rookie.
Sure.
He's driving a very unique Aston Martin car.
Yeah.
You know what kind of weather New Zealand sees a lot of during drift season?
Snow.
No.
Oh, I was wrong.
You're wrong. You're mocking me, aren't you?
Wind and
rain. Rain.
Okay.
They see a lot of rain.
Oh, so you're saying these conditions
this could benefit
are going to be very
ideal for Darren Kelly.
known to Darren Kelly.
Yes.
Okay.
Being familiar
I
with,
see where you're going with this now.
Obviously you weren't. You said snow, you pompous little guy. The laser was not fixated and not focused.
I am going to get such a beating later, everyone.
By me.
By you. When the mics are off,
you
I'm in
shut your
trouble.
mouth, Ryan, and you're an announcer and a host. All right. So as we are seeing Darren Kelly, the heart of racing, like I said, this could favor him very well. Darren, used to the rain. I mean, you know, they have some amazing wet tracks over in New Zealand, and they hit some ridiculous speeds that I've seen just over the years. And even at, you know, I'm actually going to be going over New Zealand in December, joining our homie Mad Mike. He's got Mad Mike's Summer Bash going on first weekend of December. I'll be out there with
Summer Bash in December?
Well, it's in New Zealand.
Explain that, Jared. Some people don't know that.
It's opposite seasons when you go beyond the equator.
Exactly. So yeah, I know. When I'm in Brazil, people are like, "What do you mean it's summer down there? It's winter." You gotta explain sometimes why it's called Summer Bash. It's because it's in New Zealand.
Big facts. There we go. All right, so we are seeing Darren Kelly. You saw him rotate. I was talking him up a little bit here. Don't want announcers curse him, but you know, hey. Also, Becker, Minnesota. He knows how to slide around in the snow. Don't you know?
See?
So?
Snow. Now, the issue
Snow, you know.
Just snow, you know. The thing that is going to be very challenging right now in the rain is, as you saw Darren Kelly up on outside zone 1, he was close to the wall. He was going about 12 miles per hour because there's zero grip up on the rubber line where you're going to get tire on water on rubber, right?
Yeah.
If you go below the right line, you're going to have lots of grip and you're going to be able to go fast, but you're not going to be on the right line. So what is the strategy that each of these drivers is going to adopt here in the lead role? And of course, if you're in the lead and you're a little low on line, but the chase ends up getting high on line, there's no way they're going to be able to keep up to the lead car. So this is going to be very tricky for both drivers.
And it's a
pouring.
significant amount of rain.
It is pouring rain.
It is dumping right now. You can see the rooster tail coming off the back of Alec Robbins' Nissan. That is the Facetto Nissan 350Z. Look at him slide up there. Darren Kelly gets aggressive. I told you. I mean, Darren Kelly with this Aston Martin twin supercharged. V12? V12, twin supercharged Aston Martin going against a Nissan 350Z. Alec Robbins versus Darren Kelly coming that second outside zone. Talking about those marbles, talking about that rubber. Slowing down in speed, but trying to keep that car control. Making their way through that second outside zone. Now into that second inside clip. Bringing it on home and across. Ooh, slapping the base big time. Knocks him out of shape, hits the drain. He circled down the drain there.
This is going to cause some controversy, Jared.
He hit the wall.
He spun out after the finish line. This might not seem on the surface like a big deal, but in the driver briefing and throughout the last few seasons, the drivers have indicated to us that it is very important to them that we are strict on spinning on the track, at the finish line, or beyond the finish line. And unfortunately there, Robbins tapped the wall and spun over the finish line. So that is not going to go well for him. Now, what we talked about earlier, the different lines on this track having different grip. Look where Robbins is now, lots of grip. Goes up high, you can see how his speed drops. Because Darren was down low, he had grip and he was coming in pretty hot. He got up on the less grippy area, and you can see that his speed then adapted because they're on that same line. But very, very tricky out here right now for these drivers because it's not consistent. They're going to be grippy in one part of the track, and if you move up a couple of feet, you're going to run out of traction. You're going to be on a very slippery surface, and that consistency is going to be what is difficult. Watch Alec Robbins here. Wall tap and a full-on spin right here. So Alec Robbins is calling a competition timeout right now due to that wall tap. Maybe that right rear wheel actually hit the wall when he got there. It wasn't just the bumper, so they may need to have a look at the right rear suspension of his 350Z and see if there's any damage there from that wall hit.
Conversing with President of Formula Drift Ryan Sage, I said, hey, what does the forecast look like? What is going on? He says, we have this cell, and hopefully it hits and quits. So we're going to see this. Ideally, you know, it'll pass through. It dries out during the halftime break. Remember, we have 2 battles left, Robbins and Kelly, or let's call it 1.5 ideally. Tuerck and Hurst, they'll have their sight laps, they'll have their battle. We'll continue with the second half of the Robbins and Kelly. That'll be a wrap on 32. We've seen dry conditions. We saw rain this morning. Our fans still sticking around. That guy's wearing a chicken box on his head? Okay, old chicken box. They call me chicken box head. Give me some candy. Sorry, that's an old school reference for any of you Sandler fans out there.
Hey, you got to stay dry any way you can.
I don't know what we're going to do. I got to go down to K&N, but guess what? K&N filters, they provide filtration.
Not water protection.
Not water protection.
Could somebody bring us some umbrellas?
Yes, please. Yeah.
I see a lot of umbrellas down
You
there.
know what? Not only does Formula Drift sell umbrellas, they sell T-shirts, they sell gear. So be sure to go to shopfd.com, pick up your official merchandise. Let everybody know you're a Formula Drift fan. Again, support your local pro drifter. Formula Drift, baby. Tandem Attack. Look at that, many different designs. I picked my wife up a hoodie and my little 8-year-old a shirt. So, and now we're going to pick up an umbrella.
Umbrella, yeah. Umbrellas are going to be sold out by the time we get down there, unfortunately.
Greg, bring us an umbrella. Oh, man. Rain-X.
Yeah.
Guess what? Living up to a sponsor. He has the cleanest windshield out there.
His car's dry right now.
Oh, it's look at it. Just beating off of it.
Right off the car.
The Rain-X truck and SUV livery diamond plate. Throw your diamond plate in the sky. All right, the silver bullet is ripping through the track. So, again, New Hampshire zone. Oh, gosh. Goes in with mega confidence. Look at this. This gentleman.
Very brave.
Yeah, that was, dude, call him brave heart, brave Tuerck. So look at Ryan Tuerck coming out swinging, literally. Jonathan Hurst in the loudest car in Formula Drift. He's going to throw down his sight lap. And did you see Larry Chen's video of him catching fire yesterday? It's really good. It's got a good soundtrack to it. The roof is on fire. So if you want. Thank you, Nader. Thank you, Nader. I appreciate it. All right, so Ryan Tuerck versus Jonathan Hurst, the pride of Paducah. They got rain and snow in Paducah, Kentucky? Yeah, I think so.
You're asking the Canadian?
A Canadian American walking to the bar. They say, hey, is there rain and snow in Paducah?
The Canadian says, I don't know, eh?
Sorry.
Sorry.
And he
not
said
sure.
sorry. All right, here is the AZ Rags BMW. Jonathan Hurst, Cash Racing, GT Radio, this gentleman. Taking his sight lap, seeing how it works out, seeing how he's going to do. I mean, the significant water.
Yeah, that is. You can see the difference in grip, too. Ryan Tuerck started off on his run a little bit lower grip. Got himself up there, and you can see the speed dropping. There's just not enough grip to get the car moving forward. Those rear wheels up on the rubber end up not having enough traction. So this is going to be interesting. It's how brave is that lead car going to be? And if the chase car doesn't get up on the same line, they're going to be a little bit lower, even a couple of feet lower than the lead car, and you are going to be in probably way more grip than the lead car.
Yep.
That's going to cause a huge problem for that chase driver because they have nowhere to go. They have to stay behind the lead car.
Yeah.
So this is where mimicking, we always say we want the chase car to have their rear wheels where the lead car has their rear wheels. Kind of match that smoke line. Here in the wet, we want to make sure that that chase car gets those rear wheels in the same spot, or else it's going to be really tricky.
Yeah, so many different factors, elements, placement of the car, where you put it, like you said. Hey, and I talked about that with Adam LZ. Talked about 16 inches marbles close to the wall, 20 inches unobtainium grip. Now, caution to the wind.
Yeah.
Good luck. The rain gods. All right, so here we go. Ryan Tuerck, Jonathan Hurst. What was to be our final battle? We will go back to Robbins and Darren Kelly, the second half of that. But right now, Ryan Tuerck, that Rain-X truck and SUV Toyota GR Corolla on Nitto tires. Here we go, Jonathan Hurst. Look at this initiation here by Ryan Tuerck. He gets to the wall. Wow, amazing initiation by Ryan Tuerck, currently sitting 5th in points. Jonathan Hurst spins out. Ryan Tuerck does need to continue on. As long as he keeps it sideways, keeps it clean, he's going to have a major advantage here. Again, he doesn't, given the conditions, he wants to get in that top 3 spot. Now, with Chris Forsberg out, who's in 4th, he does tap that wall. He gets intimate. You've seen that back right corner being bashed up, banged up. This Rockstar energy drink pilot living up to the series title, Controlled Chaos. Puts it down, and a great, strong lead run by Ryan Tuerck, who is your round 1 winner. The fans stomping their feet here with, again, ironically, the Rain-X truck and SUV. He did the rain dance in the rain.
Ryan Tuerck used to drift up and down his dad's driveway in the snow in his S13.
Barefoot.
Barefoot too?
I'm just
in
kidding.
Car?
That's
wow,
what everybody says.
Impressive.
Backwards.
But he used to drift up and down that driveway in the snow.
That was his driveway.
Oh, was? I thought it was.
Well, his dad and his brothers,
okay.
shared the house, yes.
So that's going way back, right?
Yes.
I mean, if you're years and years ago following Tuerck back in the day. So, driving in the snow where he used to live, does give you a huge advantage in terms of controlling a car, because snow is not equal everywhere. So you've got grippy and slippery areas, and it just gives you that feel and also quick reaction time to react when a car is, going from a slippery to a grippy or back, the vice versa. So
grippy to slippy.
Grippy to slippy can be a problem because you got a lot of speed, and then all of a sudden you're on no grip. Goodbye.
I think it really does add a sense of confidence that Ryan Tuerck initiated, and you saw him just get to the wall and then just stay in it, kind of massage it, work it out, and that was really good execution by Ryan Tuerck. Here's where it gets kind of dicey, is Jonathan Hurst. We saw him spin on initiation, but he was in the chase position. Did he get thrown off? Was that his own will? What's going on? So, you have to think, how much confidence now does Ryan Tuerck have in Jonathan Hurst? What's his spotter telling him? What is Biddy saying? That's Brian Hartsock. That's his spotter. He goes by Biddy's.
What's the strategy?
There you go.
Is it stick it to the door or give him some space? He's got it incomplete. You don't want to have an what's that called? Inactive chase in behind Jonathan Hurst in the lead. So you do have to adjust yourself. But it looks like Ryan Tuerck's staying pretty close right now.
He's drooling, man. He's absolutely thirsty right now, and he's about to get get a rooster in his face. Oh boy. Okay. Let's clear it. Oh man. Okay.
That was fairly low speed. It doesn't look like any major damage.
Hopefully.
Just kind of bumper cars a little bit.
That's it. That's all she wrote. Jonathan Hurst, that's going to be a wrap for him. Very difficult situation. All things considered, I think Ryan Tuerck is content with that. Not joyful, but I would say that's going to be a good scenario. Again, hopefully Mother Nature says, all right, hit it, quit it, I'm out. And let's stop the rain. Ready? Everybody say, stop rain. 1, 2, 3, stop rain. Ryan Tuerck gets the win and advances on that Rain-X truck and SUV, living up to the sponsor. Guess what? Rain-X defeats and moves on. He looks like he's okay. All right, so we have one half battle left of Alec Robbins, Darren Kelly. Darren Kelly will now lead in that Aston Martin. Here is our 15 of the 16 drivers, and everybody cross their fingers, cross their toes. We get dry conditions here at the House of Drift. Notably, Frederick Aasbo, your #1 qualifier, second in points, 11 points behind our points leader, Matt Field. Gonna jump over there. Matt Field will go against Adam LZ. Aasbo against Mohan. Odie Bakchis versus Dylan Hughes. The Dozer, Travis Reeder versus Chelsea Denofa. Two friends doing battle. Michael Essa versus Ken Gucci. Rome Charpentier, RCP versus Double J, Jeff Jones. Brandon Sorensen, the 18-year-old, going against Simon Olsen. Congratulations, Simon Olsen. And then Ryan Tuerck versus either Alec Robbins or Darren Kelly. This is how we started the event, and now that gap, like I said, is closed down to 11 points. Forsberg is out, Ryan Tuerck advancing. He will jump ahead of him, knocking Chris down to 4th place, and we'll see where that's at, but you can see how tight the margins are between Denofa and Tuerck. Denofa still in it. Who's gonna grab the final silver cup? TBD. We will see here at FD. So, yeah. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. All right, so here's the second half of this battle. We got Alec Robbins, Darren Kelly. Darren Kelly will lead, but right now they're gonna go into that Pedal Commander burnout box. How much steam are they gonna create? We will find out. Okay, so the heart of racing, twin supercharged V12 Aston Martin, Darren Kelly, Formula Drift rookie. Can he make his first intro into top 16? Darren Kelly. I don't believe I'm getting some furrowed brows. I'm trying to recall if Darren Kelly has made a top 16 this year. Actually, I believe he might have. I think he did once. We're gonna get the statisticians on that. But yeah, he did at round 3. He did 3 in Orlando. Thank you very much. So Darren Kelly. Oh, and in Utah? That's right, in Utah. Jeez, my gosh. So, hey, guess what? I don't have statisticians feeding me stuff. I'm trying to recount without looking at the website, so I apologize. I apologize to Darren Kelly more than anything.
I forgive you.
The heart of racing, Aston Martin, is on the start line. So can he get into the top 16 once again as Alec Robbins, the Facetto Nissan 350Z. Let's see what Darren Kelly's got for us. The pride of New Zealand, the lone Kiwi here in competition, going against Alec Robbins, Becker, Minnesota pilot. The second half of this battle, if we get a verdict, this would be the final run of our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. And we are sending cars. So keep in mind, Alec Robbins had that contact with that wall right before the finish line, causing him to spin out. That might play a major role into the outcome and the verdict of this battle. Here we go, Darren Kelly going to initiate into the bank. Darren Kelly initiates, you see him high on the bank. Alec Robbins dropping down. That twin supercharged V12, like I said, the Kiwi with the wet experience might be showing off right now. Let's see how he handles the transition into that first inside clip. Now he's gonna have to transfer into the second outside zone. You can see him dragging the bumper, guided it, oh, and he hits. He hits, he spins. And Darren Kelly just a little too aggressive in that second outside zone. Contact made. Alec Robbins hits him. Lead versus lead, chase versus chase. So that would be considered an incomplete out front. All right, so again, just kind of assessing what happened here, lead versus lead, chase versus chase.
All right, so on the left, you've got Robbins leading. On the right, you've got Darren Kelly leading. So you've got both lead drivers up pretty high on outside zone one, both chase drivers a little bit low there. Then you got Darren in the chase getting up to the wall. It's just, there's so much going on here, it's hard to follow. My one eyeball on each screen. This is where Darren Kelly goes into the wall, hits the wall, straightens up, there's a spin. And then you've got, on the other side, on the left side there, you've got a spin, a wall hit and a spin from Robbins as well. So that's two leads with incompletes.
Yep.
Really hard to find a winner here.
I think it just with, so to clarify what you said, Darren Kelly, obviously we saw him hit into that second outside zone. He straightens out. Lead car controls the situation. Chase car, null and void, right? Because the scenario. Alec Robbins did hit the wall prior to the finish line, causing him to spin out across the finish line. That would be an incomplete. So, with that being said, guess what?
Guess what?
They are going one more time.
Yeah, there's not much we can do here based on the way the rules are written, and honestly, it's the
and
right thing to do.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so, you're right. It's neither driver can put together a full lead run. And I know the hit at outside zone 3 from Alec Robbins that spun him over the finish line may be controversial, but that is what the drivers have demanded of us as judges. They don't want us to look at a situation like that and make a subjective call. It has to be the wall was hit in this situation, the car spun over the finish line, that is an incomplete. Drivers were pretty much unanimous with this in our briefings that we've had, over the last few years, where they said we want the lead driver to be in control of the car over the finish line, and we want that driver to be held responsible if they do spin over the finish line, across the finish line, just before the finish line, whatever it might be. So we've had some situations in the past that have led to this situation. So now both drivers are back into their pit areas, and they're going to either put new tires on if they feel they need that, or they will just head back out on the track potentially. So we're going to take a little break, Jared.
Yep. When we come back, We will see who we got on the start line. We know it's going to be Darren Kelly and Alec Robbins. Will they throw a fresh rubber on? We will find out when we return here to the final round, the Type S Title 5 presented by AutoZone.
NGK makes ignition coils. Why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our energy and expertise into making better coils. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance. And because we race to win, we improve the design, testing, and validation of our coils for better performance. NGK spark plugs and coils, better together.
How does one car going wild in a mall help us tell the GR story?
You're right.
We need more cars.
GT Radio. Experience ultra high performance.
Performance starts with each individual person and what they want to accomplish with their vehicle. I spend a lot of time working on my vehicles. It's my peace and quiet. I started using K&N parts when I got my first car, and they've always worked really well for me. Obviously, performance parts should increase your horsepower, but you don't want to lose your reliability either. So performance has to be all the way around.
Welcome back. There they are. This is the one more time battle between the battle and the wet. We are sending in. We're seeing Alec Robbins, who qualified 6th against the Kiwi driver Darren Kelly. This is a one more time battle. Alec Robbins hit the wall there right at that last outside zone and spun. Darren Kelly hit in the second outside zone. Here we go. We got a real wet track. The rain continues to come down. You can see it there, just coming a little bit at a 20-degree angle. As speaking of angle, Alec Robbins not as high, but Darren Kelly works it, and now look at that. Robbins just there towards the latter portion, barely gets up and taps that wall now into that second outside zone. Don't want to overcook it. Now in that second outside zone, you see Robbins gets out there, taps it, stays at him. You see how that wall just sucks you up. We saw that with Darren Kelly earlier. It seemed like he had basically had just one more little hit, and he would have finished, and there it is. Robbins and Darren Kelly.
All right, pretty decent run from both drivers. A couple of little mistakes here and there. This is what it's going to be. We're going to see mistakes being handed off because of the conditions, because of how slippery it is.
Yeah.
There's just nothing you can do about that. So it's going to be really analyzing who does a better job, despite those errors. You know, we are expecting a higher number of errors from both drivers. This is an extremely difficult course to navigate in the wet, and the fact that you know, it's just so challenging.
I'm
just thinking back to my competition days where we used to run in the rain. Everybody hated it so much. We were doing it on a track with a drag strip on the.
That's right.
Yeah, and that was
talk
glare ice.
Talk about surface changes.
Yeah, but it's still difficult here. The differences, the changes in grip level, the inconsistency throughout the track. If it was consistent everywhere, this would not be a problem. It's the inconsistencies that really make it challenging. The speeds that they're traveling are still really high. It doesn't look maybe from way up here, but they're still driving very fast for the conditions. So
well, we talk about the track conditions and how slick it is, but also keep in mind helmets, windscreens, windshield wipers going down, fog, all these other elements. They don't have windows, so it's coming in. They're soaked. So all those other elements outside of just track conditions. And look at this, Darren Kelly, DK comes out swinging, and whoa, Alec Robbins gets aggressive. Look at these guys shimming in the rain. Look at the rain dance that these guys are performing. Darren Kelly, Alec Robbins going at it. Our final position in the top 16. Who's going against Ryan Tuerck? Who's going against Ryan Tuerck in the 16? You can see Alec Robbins dropping down a little bit low. Darren Kelly past the point where he hit the wall. Can he continue on? That twin supercharged V12, the heart of racing, Aston Martin. We got one more outside zone for DK, Darren Kelly from New Zealand. He gets out there, Alec Robbins, that Facetto Nissan 350Z. And he rips through. Let's take a look. I'd love to see a side-by-side. I think that would be really definitive of what, highlighting either kind of those mistakes or. So here it is, the BC Racing go for gold side-by-side. So again, Robbins leading on the left, Darren Kelly leading on the right.
So you can see there, Darren Kelly a lot higher on outside zone 1 in the lead position, both bumping the wall in the right screen. On the left side, Robbins does get up to the wall, but near the end of the zone. As they transition here for inside clip 1, you can see Darren Kelly's in better proximity on the left screen. What I'm worried about on the right screen there is Darren grabs the handbrake after inside clip 1, and it looks like he goes pretty low angle. I don't know if that was completely straight. We're gonna have to watch on our little replay machine here if it was straight. It was pretty sloppy from Darren in the lead position there. It looked like he was being cautious transitioning to outside zone number 2. There was a long handbrake pull, and I think maybe he pulled the handbrake too early, too quick. The car hadn't rotated yet, so I don't think it had really the momentum to rotate because he grabbed the handbrake too quickly. We're just watching it here on our slow-mo screen that we have, trying to determine if that is indeed what happened, to see the degree of straighten that was there, how bad it really was.
Okay, waiting for the outcome here from the judges. Taking a look, Robbins and Kelly. It's a real tough call here. Again, splitting not just hairs, but wet hairs. This is a tough one. This is the one more time battle. The winner going against Ryan Tuerck. Notably, remember, we are back here at 7 o'clock for top 16, local time 5:14. So less than 2 hours. Less than 2 hours. We'll be back here to see what's going down. So let's see, Darren Kelly, Alec Robbins.
All right, I think all the votes are in.
All right, the votes are in. Again, Darren Kelly flying the Kiwi flag, a rookie here. Alec Robbins, been competing for a few years, and slide him left for Robbins, right for Darren Kelly. Alec Robbins gets the win. Unfortunately, that's heart of racing. Aston Martin is knocked out. Robbins gets the victory and advances on. So that's a wrap on our Rockstar Energy Drink Top 32. We're back here at 7 o'clock. You can see there's our top 16. Notably, Aasbo, Field, and Denofa, our top 3 drivers for the championship, are still in it. 11 points separate Matt Field, our points leader, and Frederick Aasbo. If Aasbo and Field meet in the Final Four, the winner of that Final Four battle will be your champion. But notably, who is going to win here at the House of Drift? Don't go anywhere. Well, obviously, go somewhere. But
come back.
You're going to be back here at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And look at that. The sun setting off in the distance. looking at the city of Los Angeles and what's going down. So don't go anywhere. Well, again, go somewhere.
Go somewhere.
And then we'll be back here
Yeah.
for Top 16, the Royal Purple Top 16, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. I'm Jared Deanna, Ryan Lantain on behalf of all the judges, Ryan Lantain, Chris Yule, and Brian Eggert. We'll be back here at 7 p.m. for our opening ceremonies here at the House of Drift. This is the Type S Ding Ding title fight presented by AutoZone here at the House of Drift.